here at Drive Pink Stadium at 8 o'clock. So that's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a packed house at 8 o'clock. And, hey, listen, they win tonight. They could be in first place. If they win tonight, they're 2-1-2 in the first 5 games. So they've got 2 wins and 2 ties in their first 5, where last year they were 0-5. This is a really good opportunity, man, to win tonight. So let's hope the boys can actually pull it off tonight at Dry Pink Stadium. Let's see, what do we have? Big O, this oxy epidemic is beyond horrific.
We'll be right back to the Man of the Match with Alex Donno. You can join us on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623. You're listening to the home of Inter Miami CF.
His strike is a decent one. It's fired into the top right corner. Gonzalo Higuain opens his account for Inter Miami.
OnsideRadio.com, where the passion for La Rosa Negra runs deep. Download the Radio.net app and listen to Onside Radio in every Inter Miami CF game. OnsideRadio.com, your home for Inter Miami soccer.
Let's raise a cup to the first among us who put themselves last. To the risk takers, the mask makers, the heroes on the front line and online. To the ones keeping shelves full and keeping us hopeful. To those who don't stop and those making all the stops. To the ones who pick up, suit up, and never let us down. From all of us at Dunkin' to all the heroes keeping everyone running, we thank you.
You're listening to the station with more live and local sports talk than anyone else in South Florida. OnsideRadio.com. Broadcasting from South Florida to the world. Welcome back to the Man of the Match with Alex Donno.
It's all yours. Just keep it right here.
You can reach out anytime on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623.
Ariza, the veteran, he has provided a nice lift. Robinson on target for 3. Out of the timeout, Hero remains in there with Iguodala, Butler, and Adebayo. Robinson lines it up. Yes, sir. A 3. I mean, as recently as 4 years ago, Robinson, good look at a 3. Celtics had missed 7 shots in a row. Robinson trying to get the angle. The setup for Adebayo with the left hand. In Boston, Miami 76, the Celtics 73. 4 minutes to go in the third. Robinson counted for 3. Exchange between him and Coach Spoelstra right at the start of the third quarter. Robinson, oh, he's doing it from all angles. Duncan Robinson for 2. A win for Miami would clinch at least the 6th seed. Robinson got him a 3.
Yes! Oh, it is. It is! Man of the Match with Alex Donno. Oh, I'm Alex Donno, and I'm with you guys for the next 3 hours here on OnsideRadio.com. I got an assignment for Alex Aguirre for the next 3 hours. Try not to let me get too worked up, man, because this is one of those days today.
I can hear it. I can hear it. You're jittery, but like in a good way.
Yeah, but this is one of those, like, I have to conserve a little bit because today is a marathon. It's not a sprint because we've got Inter Miami broadcast tonight. We're welcoming in the boys from CF Montreal. I mean, they don't have to travel far because they've been sharing the facility with us for the early part of this season because Canada has a bunch of travel restrictions. So all the Canadian teams are playing stateside, at least for the first good bit of the MLS season. So they've been using the facility here. They just have to, basically walk from the practice facility down to the stadium today. Not a big travel for them. But we have our broadcast tonight. Inter Miami CF will look to stay unbeaten for 4 consecutive matches, looking to get a victory. First, it would be the first victory at home if they can get it done tonight, okay? So, and some good news because over the last couple of days, we have every reason to be optimistic that Blaise Matuidi is going to start tonight. Got a little bit of a scare with Blaise in Sunday's game against Atlanta. because he suffered a collision just a few minutes in. At first, we weren't sure. Could this be a possible head injury? Then he was actually clutching his chest. He left the game at the 14th minute, was subbed out. We'd been told he was going to go to the hospital after the game for tests. I guess the tests he had came up negative, so all is well. It was a little bit of a scare with Matuidi, but he's going to go here today. And CF Montreal, they've been interesting to start the year because they picked up a victory 4-2 over Toronto here in this building to start up their season. The little Canadian rivalry, two Canadian teams displaced in the United States of America. They got a 2-2 draw in their next game, so they actually, through 4 games, have scored more goals than Inter Miami. They've scored 6 total goals. Inter Miami have scored 5 total goals so far, but Montreal have not scored in their past 2 games. They've had clean sheets kept against them in their past 2. A 2-0 loss most recently. That was 2 games ago, then the 0-0. Most recently 2-0 loss, and then the 0-0 draw against Columbus Crew was before that. So they're looking to break out of a bit of a scoring funk. We are broadcasting, as always, live, my friends, inside of Drive Pink Stadium in Fort Lauderdale, the site of tonight's matchup. And I was reminded when I arrived at the facility today, even though I get here like around 12:45, 1 p.m., you've already got a bunch of media members, staff members for the stadium coming in, so I had to wait in a little bit of a line, had to park a little bit farther away than we normally park, but it's all in the interest of game day. It's all in the interest of keeping everyone safe and happy. We're going to have 8,000 strong in the stadium here tonight. Of course, capacity is still limited for a couple more weeks from COVID-19. We got the really good news, though, yesterday. And this is made possible by society advancing, right? A lot of folks are getting vaccinated. We're not completely there yet, but we're getting this pandemic under control. You're doing pretty well in this country because, I have some family in Europe, for example, and they're way behind vaccinating people from where we are because they don't have the supply that we have. I think in Italy, where my aunt and uncle live, they're still only vaccinating the 70 and over crowd. So they're not getting, now I think we've reduced the age from like 12 and 15-year-olds are allowed to get vaccinated now. So we've come a long way, my friends. And so starting May 29th, that's a little over 2 weeks away, Inter Miami are going to be hosting DC United here at the stadium. And for that game onwards, we're going to be able to welcome in full capacity into the stadium, which is really exciting. La Familia. Everyone's going to be allowed through the doors. Well, about 18,000 of us anyway. That's the capacity here. So we're going from 8,000 to 18,000, standing room only. Everyone will still, be required to wear masks and stuff, follow the rules, keep as safe as you can. But with all the progress we've made with vaccinations and all that good stuff, we're going to be able to allow full capacity here at Drive Pink Stadium from May 29th onward. The fan base deserves it. The fan base really deserves it because we were robbed of the genuine home opener. That was going to be a little over a year ago at this time, March of 2019, or 2020, I should say, March of 2020, a few days before we were going to have the home opener here, which would have been a full stadium. It had been sold out for months. That's when everything went into lockdown. That's when the Major League Soccer season was put on ice and postponed. We haven't had full capacity allowed since then. So patience pays, safety pays, vaccinations pay, and in a couple of weeks we're going to be able to welcome in a full crowd here. I'm going to have to get here really early for those games because I know parking is it's going to be an obstacle because guess what? We're Americans and we love to tailgate. We love to tailgate. The tailgating culture is very, very strong here. Hey, if you guys want to get in, share your infinite wisdom with us via the text line. I want to open up the text line as well so I can see what everyone's saying. Telephone number 844-416-8123. That's 844-416-8123. That's if you're listening to us. You can listen on onsideradio.com. There's a bunch of free mobile apps, including radio.net. I was listening on the Radio FM app during my drive up here today. And you can also watch us live and chat with us live here on YouTube. I'm always active on the YouTube chat. Go to youtube.com, search for Onside Radio. Make sure you subscribe to our channel. We're trying to get that subscriber count up, and that's the easiest way to keep up with everything you're doing. If you subscribe to the channel, even if you turn the alerts on, because when you turn the alerts on, it's going to tell you every time a new show starts, every time Onside Radio is live streaming on YouTube, they're going to let you know. And once you're in there watching us on YouTube, the coolest feature is you can chat with us live, right? So I'm looking, the chat room is already rocking. We've only been live for a couple of minutes. NorCal Dolphin fan, he says, "G'day, Donno." I don't know why I read it like he's Australian. I know he's not, but anytime someone writes "good day," I think, "G'day, mate." Dougie Fresh is in the room. He says he's second in. I've never been first before, he writes, ever. Well, there was that time with Cindy, the redhead with the overbite. Anyway, loyal listener, and I love the show. And we've got, my buddy Trambach, big soccer fan, is in. Tram from India. So thank you for listening from, he lives in like East or West Bengal, India. He told me that before. Manny Fernandez is in. Welcome, Manny. Speaking of Bengal and India, did you see this story, Alex, that there's a man-eating tiger roaming a Texas neighborhood? I think it's Houston, Texas, and it's like an upscale neighborhood. So there's like rich people. They're going out to water their grass and like plant some roses or something, and they might get eaten by a tiger. He's just roaming around this residential neighborhood. I'm really not surprised to read about this today, and I saw the photos, and it's crazy. You've got like a suburban neighborhood, an upscale Texas neighborhood, and there's just a giant-ass tiger walking around, probably going through people's garbage, probably looking for stray cats to eat. It's crazy. Does not surprise me whatsoever, because I've heard this stat a number of different times. There are more tigers in captivity in Texas than there are in the wild of the entire planet. I think most tigers are from India, but there are actually more tigers in captivity in the state of Texas than exist in the wild. And some of it is zoos, sure. I mean, I'm sure there are a lot of zoos in Texas. I live right by Zoo Miami, and one of the first exhibits you walk by is the tiger exhibit. They've got 2 or 3 tigers in there. So, yeah, I'm sure a lot of these tigers that live in Texas are from zoos, but usually it's just rich assholes who just want to have a tiger, like Mike Tyson in The Hangover, like Tony Montana in Scarface. These people just want to have a tiger in their possession, and
Tiger
guess what?
King.
Yeah, Tiger King. Except at least he's kind of running a zoo. Like, bro, I only watched the first 3 episodes, so it was pretty shady what they had going on there.
Zoo is an understatement of what that man was running.
I couldn't get through that show. Like, it was.
It's cringy. It makes you uncomfortable a little bit.
I'm not a fan of reality TV to begin with, and like I really felt like every episode of Tiger King I watched, my IQ went down 17 points. So once I had like 11 IQ points left, I just said enough. Enough is enough.
I mean, it came out during like the heavy part of the lockdown, so it's not like if we lost a couple brain cells, we weren't gonna put much to it. Like, we're gonna put much use of it anyway. So like, we were just all in lockdown. So
there is, and you know what? Maybe since our guy Trambach is in the chat, because he's told me before that he lives, I don't know, something like 30 miles away from the forest where there are a lot of tigers, like where he lives. Maybe he can give us some tips, like. If a tiger is coming after you,
right?
Are you supposed to zigzag? Like, do you make a lot
like
of noise?
Alligator?
Like an alligator. Like when an alligator is chasing. And these are the things, if you live in Florida, you have to know this.
That is true, yeah.
Floridians should not have to know about how to run away from a tiger, because that's not like in our DNA, right? Because as a native Floridian human being, I'm thinking I have to deal with water moccasins. I have to deal with alligators. I have to deal with Miami drivers. Like, I'm not supposed to have to deal with tigers. So I don't have it like embedded into my DNA to know what to do or how to run if a tiger's chasing. Like, if a tiger's chasing you, do you create a diversion somehow? Like, maybe like if you throw your phone like the other direction, maybe he'll go after the phone, not after you. If you zigzag, can you tire him out? Can you confuse him?
A laser light. It's a cat.
What if I'm not carrying a laser light at all times?
Yeah, that's the thing. We got, now, since we're Floridians, and if there's a tiger outbreak, we have to be prepared and carry your lasers with you everywhere you go, your little laser lights.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So I guess I need to start carrying a laser light.
Like a house cat. They get distracted by like balls of yarn. Maybe you need a giant ball of yarn for that tiger.
Maybe so.
Carry on a giant ball of yarn.
This is stuff I feel like I should know. I don't know what to do. Like, if a tiger's chasing you, do you just kind of like let him have you because it's over? Like, there's nothing you can do. These are the questions I ask myself before I go to sleep at night. So yeah, a huge welcome to everyone in the chat, and I love how the YouTube chat gets international, man. I mean, we've got a friend of ours from India who's listening right now. We got people in California. We got people in Florida. You know, we often get our friend Andy in Scotland and Roy in Scotland, so they love us in Scotland. Onside Radio, #1 South Florida station in Scotland. I can guarantee you that because I know we have at least 2 listeners from that part of the UK, so that's fantastic. You heard on the way in a couple of Miami Heat highlights. Heat beat the Celtics again, 129-121. Honestly, I've said many negative things about the Heat this season, and I stand by those things. I don't take them back. But I'm also going to tell you when I'm impressed. In these last couple of games, I've been really impressed. Although the Celtics, they're bitches a little bit, right? I mean, how do you let the Heat go in there with these 2 really important games? You've got both of them at home because they were home on Sunday. They're home last night. Basically, you just have to win one of those games to put yourself in a really good position to avoid the play-in, because if they won at least one of these last 2 games on their home floor, the Celtics would have an easier schedule the rest of the way and the tiebreaker against the Heat had they won one of 2. They didn't win one of 2, so the Heat have the tiebreaker in winning both. You know, Boston just they went down for the count in both of these games. You know, the first one, it was really the first half where the Heat took control, 79 points by halftime, and they cruised a little bit. Boston tried to come back. They made it interesting late. This time around, I was so impressed with the third and fourth quarters for the Heat. Really, Duncan Robinson took over in the third. He's really trying to prove me wrong, right? Because we had that roundtable discussion a couple days ago, and I'm saying, you know, $20 million, too rich for my blood for Duncan. The Heat, you know, the Heat have a history of finding and developing shooters. I don't need to overpay for this one, but he's making me eat crow after these last couple of games. But you know what I love seeing, Alex, in the fourth quarter last night? When my guy, the Slovenian beauty, Goran Dragic, when he started getting hot, he was hitting 3-pointers from the freaking moon. Like, he was taking 3-point shots from, like, halfway between the 3-point line and half court, and he was draining everything. I pray to the basketball gods at night that we can get a fully fit and healthy Goran Dragic for a playoff run. Because if we're going to do anything in these playoffs, we remember how good Goran was last year up until the finals when he was injured, how good Goran was last season. He's older. What is he, like 34 now? 34,
35, around
35? There. God, he's getting old. So we need Dragic. Like, lock him up in a hyperbaric chamber for the next however long it is until the playoffs officially start. Now that, you know, and obviously I want to do a little bit better. We know we can do no worse than the 6th seed now, which is good because you avoid the play-in. So that's fantastic. And I know that we're going to start talking about possibilities this week of who we could match up with in the first round. Now, you want to be in the 4-5, right? You don't want to go up against Milwaukee in the 6 versus the 3. I know the Heat took Milwaukee out last year. Milwaukee have gotten better. They got better with the Drew Holiday trade. Giannis Antetokounmpo is better now. I know Milwaukee don't necessarily want to face the Heat at any point in these playoffs because they have the flashbacks of what happened to them last season. But still, if I'm Miami, I wouldn't like to see them until second round at the earliest, okay? Give me, 2 possibilities, but one of them I favor so much more. The Atlanta Hawks, fine, I would take that, although that series would put people to sleep, Heat versus Hawks. Give me the Knicks. Okay, even if it wouldn't be champagne basketball, because these could end up being lower scoring, knock 'em out, drag 'em out type of games, which would be fine with me because I grew up on Heat Knicks in the 90s. Dude, like I grew – this is going to be another old man rant, I think. Back in my day, we're talking 96, we're talking 97, simpler times. The world was fantastic back then. Now it's, just a bunch of just some people whining and crying on social media is what the world has become. Simpler times back then in 96, 97. When the Heat used to go up against the New York Knickerbockers in the playoffs, you would get fights, you would get melees, like you'd get Jeff Van Gundy like holding on to Alonzo Mourning's leg. Dude, if we could get the remix of Heat Knicks, my year would be complete. Just don't lose to the Knicks. Don't let the Knicks eliminate you, because then we would never hear the end of it from the goddamn New Yorkers. But if you can take the Knicks out in a playoff series and make those fans humble, make him humble, like the Iron Sheik would say. I need that in my life. Heat Hawks is boring. I'll watch it because I'm a Heat fan. Few people in Atlanta might watch it. Nobody else is watching that. Give me Heat Knicks. Give me like several days of ramp up on ESPN and like ESPN Classic. They're probably going to show some of those old playoff games from the 1990s. I don't care if the final score from some of these games is 85-82, the way that they were back in the 1990s. You give me that series. You give me the opportunity to humble the New Yorkers, and I'm going to be a really happy camper, because these Knick fans, they ate some humble pie yesterday. They got beaten by the Lakers. Did you see Anthony Davis and LeBron James trolling Spike Lee? I mean, Spike, he flew all the way out to Los Angeles. And, like, Spike Lee, why does he always dress like a circus clown? Like, why does he find, like, the most ridiculous? And Knicks gear, obviously, is very, like, it gives you a headache with those colors anyway, with, like, the super bright burnt orange and all that. But, like, every time, like, Spike Lee shows up to these games sitting courtside, and he looks like he hasn't changed his outfit since 1997. You want to talk about living in the past? Spike is living in the past. And then after the Knicks got beat by the Lakers last night, you had Anthony Davis and LeBron. He was wearing street clothes, and they're taunting Spike Lee. I freaking love that, man. This is one of the few times you'll hear me compliment LeBron James. 844-416-8123 is the number. It's 844-416-8123 on the text line. We got a lot coming up. 3:35 today, so later on this hour, we're going to talk some Miami Heat with Jeremy Taché from Bally Sports Florida and Bally Sports Sun. You know, I invited Jeremy on this morning, and he seems really excited. He tweeted about it because the Heat games this week, they're nationally televised, which means they don't have them on the local Bally Sports Sun. So he's chomping at the bit to do something. Like he's essentially had a week off this week. So we're going to let him wax poetic on the show today. In the 4 o'clock hour at 4:35, the Blonde Bomber, Bill Lindsay, is going to join us. Former Florida Panthers player. He's now a Florida Panthers radio analyst, and he's also an NHL Network analyst. He does an awesome job breaking down the entire league. Mr. Lindsay is going to help us get ready for this playoff series coming up this weekend. It's going to start Sunday, I saw, right? Sunday, Florida Panthers and Tampa Bay Lightning will play game number 1. Bill Lindsay's going to join us in the 4 o'clock hour to help break that down. So keep it locked right here to Onside Radio, the only locally owned sports station in South Florida. We are onsideradio.com.
We'll be right back to the Man of the Match with Alex Donno. You can join us on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623. Listen to OnsideRadio.com anywhere by downloading the MyTuner Radio app in your app store. Or go to MyTunerRadio.com on your web browser. OnsideRadio.com. South Florida sports leader. When you need your warehouse looking good while staying efficient, there's only one place to find the finest racks in the business. Pallet Rack City in Hialeah. 305-424-8547. That's 305-424-8547. Pallet Rack City is the company you need when you want your warehouse sporting the finest racks in the business. After all, who doesn't love a great rack? Pallet Rack City. 305-424-8547. That's 305-424-8547. At OnsideRadio.com, we chirp all day and night. It's time to do some more chirping with David Dwork at our Chirping the Cats report.
The Panthers are back on the ice today as they begin to prepare for their first-round playoff series against the Tampa Bay Lightning. Florida is riding high after closing out the regular season with 6 straight wins, including back-to-back triumphs over those same Lightning. While the Panthers came out with a pair of victories, Tampa appeared motivated to set a physical tone from the start, something that Florida did not shy away from. When the dust settled, the two teams combined for 46 penalties and 192 penalty minutes in the two games, setting the table for what should be an incredibly exciting and entertaining playoff series. The Panthers are expected to begin the postseason at close to full strength after battling injuries for most of the second half of the season. Despite missing guys like Sasha Barkov, Aaron Ekblad, Patrick Hornquist, Carter Verhaeghe, and Anthony Duclair, Florida never skipped a beat. We'll see if their impressive play over the past couple months will carry over into the postseason as the Panthers are on the hunt for their first playoff series victory since 1996.
Keep up with the latest on the Florida Panthers by subscribing on most platforms by searching Onside Radio, your home for South Florida sports.
Now that it's springtime, it's only getting hotter here in South Florida. Make sure your AC in your home or business is running smoothly by investing in a preventative maintenance plan from M&S Air Conditioning. And M&S is a Mitsubishi Diamond Elite contractor. When you purchase a new Mitsubishi electric mini split system, you'll get a 12-year warranty. Or install a high-efficiency polarized air filter in your AC unit that captures and destroys biological contaminants to improve air quality. M&S Air Conditioning have been providing prompt, honest, and reliable service for over 30 years. Schedule service or call to get more info on our preventative maintenance plans. Call 954-421-3680 or visit ac-florida.com.
Join the Inter Miami family in 2021 by becoming a 2021 season ticket member. Enjoy enhanced access benefits and pricing not available to general fans. Visit intermiamicf.com/tickets for more information.
You're listening to OnsideRadio.com. Catch up anytime by downloading the MyTuner Radio app. OnsideRadio.com, South Florida's true hometown station.
With Make-A-Wish, the impossible becomes possible. A girl battling cancer can become a race car driver battling the course. The boy showing all the nurses his fire trucks can take the helm of a real one. Wishes can give kids with critical illnesses the strength to keep fighting, get better, and grow up.
Where there's a wish, there's a way.
Wishes need you. Visit Make-A-Wish at wish.org.
Welcome back to the Man of the Match with Alex Donno. You can reach out anytime on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623.
Kemba left this game early, a minute 46 in, with an apparent left arm injury, but came back later in that opening quarter. Shot clock winding down. It goes down for Goran Dragic. Shot clock winding down. Dragic again. A bomb from Goran Dragic in this fourth quarter.
And this second unit for Miami in this game as Dragic getting
Big Heat victory last night. I had my doubts going in. Alex, be honest with me. Before they started that little two-game stretch with the Celtics, we knew how important each of those games would be. And for the Heat, the pressure was really on to win both. Because if they didn't win both, Boston would have the tiebreaker, which would have been a big edge for them to avoid the play-in and the Heat not to. How much faith did you had in Miami heading into that two-game stretch, both in Boston, mind you, that they could win both? Because I had very little faith.
I thought they were going to split it, and the way I predicted it was they were going to lose that first one against Boston. And the Heat in the past, especially this season, they've shown resiliency, especially coming after tough losses. So that's the way I kind of scripted it, that they were going to lose a close one against Boston game one, and then game two they were going to come back and they were going to win that game because they don't want to lose two in a row. But I did not have a lot of faith that they were going to come out of the Garden with two wins like that.
Yeah, same here, man. So I'm happy. We can do no worse than the 6th seed. It's about 10 minutes. We'll talk more about it with Jeremy Taché from Bally Sports Florida and Bally Sports Sun. I love this. Doug E. Fresh. This is so perfect. So I was commenting on Spike Lee's get-ups that he wears to Knicks games, where he wears the most colorful, obnoxious 90s gear you can find. He looks like he stepped in a time machine from 1997. Doug E. Fresh writes, Alex, Spike Lee's outfits look just like Jules and Vincent in Pulp Fiction when they had to wear the clothes. They had to change clothes after shooting the dude's head off in the car. You remember that? 'Cause they went over to Quentin Tarantino's house, and then they had the fixer, Winston Wolfe, came over and got to get different clothes on because they were wearing the black and white suits, but they got blood all over them. And he had those like short shorts, the UCSC Banana Cruise, Banana Slugs, UC Santa Cruz t-shirt. Oh my God, it's so perfect. Spike Lee, he dresses like Jules and Vincent after they shot the dude's head off in the car. That is so perfect, man. That is so perfect. We also welcome into the chat. Ray is in there. Brooklyn Rob says, hey, Juventus up 1-0. Stop hating. So they're going up against Sassuolo today. It's really a must-win because Juventus have been failing their way out of Champions League position in recent weeks. I will give them respect, though, if they can win that game because Sassuolo have been in very, very good form lately. Brooklyn Rob, he's always on me because I don't even do it on purpose. I hate Juventus so much that every time I see any sort of a negative tweet about them or especially about Cristiano Ronaldo, I can't help myself but retweet it. Like, it's a problem, right? It's like people who have addictions. You know, I couldn't put down the vodka. I can't put down Twitter. When something negative is said about Juventus, I'm going to retweet it. I'm going to comment, tweet it. I'm going to share it. And every time I do it, Brooklyn Rob is there to check me. He says, enjoy your Scudetto, enjoy your championship, and stop hating on my guys. I'm sorry, man. It's in my DNA, bro. I really can't help it. RC in the 305, by the way, asked, how would you react if the following transpired? Dolphins trade 2 number 1s in both 22 and 23 drafts for Aaron Rodgers, plus Wilkins, and then send Tua to the Saints for a second-rounder next year. Honestly, you know, I love Aaron Rodgers, and I think he's still got a few really good years left. I agree with, I think it was Ray who commented on that. I think that's a lot to give up for a guy who's going to be 38 years old next season. It's a lot. Just the way you described it, it's a lot to give up. And if I was a little bit more confident in two things, number one, I'd have to be really confident that this entire Dolphins roster is just an Aaron Rodgers away from being a Super Bowl champion right now. Then you'd have to really think about it. I think they probably still need another year of reinforcements. I don't care if Brian Flores said the other day that the rebuild is over. Like, I don't really believe it. They've still been compiling draft picks. I think they still have a couple of areas like running back and like center that they need to find upgrades on. So I don't believe the rebuild is over. I think there's at least one more year to fortify the squad. And so I'm not giving up that much for Aaron Rodgers unless I think next year I am an Aaron Rodgers away from being a Super Bowl champion. They wouldn't be that far from it because he's so good. He elevates everybody. I think Denver makes the most sense. To me, Denver, with what they have supporting cast-wise on offense, and their defense is fantastic, I think Denver really is right now an Aaron Rodgers away, and they're really being held back, or they've been held back by their quarterback position struggles in recent memory, and that he could do great things there. So I'm not confident that this coming year the Dolphins are a Rodgers away from winning a Super Bowl. And I'm also and I'm not saying I'd rather have Tua than Aaron Rodgers. That would be kind of ridiculous. But when you're talking about giving up that much, I do have confidence that Tua is going to be really good. I think he's being underrated and undervalued right now. So instead of giving up that much and getting rid of Tua for Rodgers, I think I'd rather keep those assets and roll the dice with Tua over the next few years. That's just me. It's just a lot. Like the scenario you brought up is a lot to give up to Rodgers. RC asks, Rodgers is a better athlete or worse athlete than Brady? Oh, he's absolutely a better athlete than Brady. There's no question. Tom Brady he's just more intelligent. He's got slightly, and this is all relative because Rodgers is fantastic, but what separates Brady is I think the intelligence and the instincts at the position, but athletic-wise, stronger arm, quicker, more mobile. Aaron Rodgers is the better athlete, no question about that. I saw something interesting this morning. Aaron Rodgers is on the TB12 diet now. He bought Brady's book. He's getting advice like from chefs on how to go on the TB12 plan. He's lock, stock, and barrel on TB12. He looks at old Tommy Brady and says, wow, this guy is 5.5, 6 years older than me, and he's still playing at the highest levels of the game. How do I make sure my body is able to do what his body is doing, 6 years from now? So he's on the TB12 diet, man. 844-416-8123. It's 844-416-8123. When we come back, we're going to talk some Heat basketball with our good pal, Jeremy Taché from Bally Sports, Florida. He's going to join us after this. Hey, Miami Heat fans, remember, you can listen to Ira Winderman on this station every single day. He was on with Big O earlier. He's going to be on with me tomorrow. Ira joins us for the Acura of Pembroke Pines Miami Heat report. So we get the best insight on the Miami Heat every single day with Ira Winderman right here on OnSideRadio.com.
We'll be right back to the Man of the Match with Alex Donno. You can join us on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623. Onside Radio, the only choice for the South Florida sports fan. Listen to every Inter-Miami CF match on your home for La Rosa Negra, OnSideRadio.com. Catch us every day on the MyTuner Radio app. If you missed Onside Zone with Big O, you missed.
Big O, Tito is not allowed in the Boom Boom Room. Never seen Smokey and the Bandit. Never seen Top Gun. What's the matter with these kids? Look at that. Now you can't hang out with Salma, Paige, Sophia. See, now you can't hang out with the ladies because you have not seen Top Gun.
Yeah, I would just hope that, like I said, the Boom Boom Room is sanitized. I would hope.
Well, I don't know, but did you hear about the 81-person orgy?
No.
What is wrong with you?
The Onside Zone with Big O, only on OnSideRadio.com.
Join the Inter-Miami family in 2021 by becoming a 2021 season ticket member. Enjoy enhanced access benefits and pricing not available to general fans. Visit intermiamicf.com/tickets for more information.
Keeping you informed in the world of sports. With an OnSideRadio.com sports update.
Miami Heat secured no less than the 6th seed in the playoffs last night with a 129-121 win over the Boston Celtics. Jimmy Butler missed the second half with a poked eye, but Tyler Hero scored 24 points, and Bam and Duncan added 22 of their own. Next up for the Heat is a home game versus Philadelphia tomorrow night. The Arizona Diamondbacks took Game 2 of their series against the Miami Marlins 11-3. The teams are back at it for Game 3 of their 4-game series tonight at 9:40. Tonight right here at Drive Pink Stadium, Onside Radio gives you your Inter-Miami pregame show with Big O and Alex Donno. Inter-Miami also has their broadcast at 7:30 with Chris Whittingham, Thomas Brogman, and Fernando Fiori with the call of the game. And you're listening to South Florida's only locally owned sports talk station. Coming up, it's more of Man of the Match with Alex Donno right here at OnSideRadio.com.
Parents, we know we can't protect our kids from everything. Eventually, they're going to bump their heads or scrape their knees. But we can protect them from 6 types of cancer. HPV, or human papillomavirus, is a common, preventable virus that can cause cancer later in life. The HPV vaccine prevents human papillomavirus and all the cancers it can cause. The American Cancer Society recommends getting your sons and daughters the HPV vaccine starting at age 9 to protect them later in life.
There's no need to drive around South Florida wasting valuable time looking for a new or certified pre-owned Acura. Go to the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. Purchase with pace and space in a dealership tailored to your needs. From home buying to providing that personal touch. Contact the 2020 Satisfaction Award winner Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. 888-776-5123. That's 888-776-5123. Or visit them at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
You're listening to the station with more live and local sports talk than anyone else in South Florida. OnSideRadio.com. Broadcasting from South Florida to the world. Welcome back to the Man of the Match with Alex Donno. You can reach out anytime on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623.
Yeah, we love talking Heat basketball, sometimes some Marlins and Panthers as well. This guy's very well-rounded. Going to focus mostly on Heat, though, today with our good pal Jeremy Taché from Bally Sports Florida and Bally Sports Sun. And guys, this is the stat of the day, okay? And I know that those of you who listen to the show, you've heard Jeremy on with us before, so surely you support Breakfast at Jeremy's, his digital series, which is awesome. I am told by Jeremy himself on Twitter, the Heat were 16-17 before Breakfast at Jeremy started, and they are now 22-14 since. Not all heroes wear capes, Jeremy. We all do what we can to help our teams. I'm very superstitious. I have lucky masks and lucky outfits for some of my teams. I have these weird rituals to make sure we win. I'm glad Breakfast at Jeremy's has worked for the Heat. Thank you, sir, for this great service you provide. How are you, Jeremy?
That's the best intro. Every time I come on here, it's a better and better intro for me. Yeah, I'm as superstitious as anybody. I'm the guy who in high school, before every game that I pitched, made sure I listened to the same songs in the same order and put my left sock on before my right sock. So knowing that the Heat are trending in the right direction since I started doing my show makes me feel pretty good about the playoffs.
No, and I've been gushing about the Heat since I started this episode about 38 minutes ago, to the point where a couple of our listeners in the YouTube chat have reminded me, like, Donno, how many times have you completely given up on the Heat this season? I'm not gonna lie, I've thrown in the towel more than a couple of times. I don't necessarily know in a pretty tough East. At least the top part of the East is really tough. I don't know how far they're going to go, but I am really impressed with what they did in these last couple of games, and I'm so happy we're avoiding the play-in. So, Jeremy, let's start with that. How big is it, you think, for this team to lock up where they can be no worse than the 6?
Well, it's huge for them. And, I mean, how many times – I feel like every time I've come on this program with you, we've been having a conversation where the Heat were trending extremely in one direction or the other, right? Yeah. We were having a conversation, I think, when they were in the midst of, I think it was 11 out of 13 or something like that. And then the next time we spoke, they'd lost 6 out of 7. And we were, saying, is this the end of the world? So I think this team has been so streaky, but the thing that has been the constant when they've been good is health.
Yeah.
Right? It's been, is Jimmy Butler on the floor? It's been, does Tyler Hero have his legs beneath him? And missing the time that he did, I mean, clearly what a little bit of a miracle that was to sort of get his body in shape. And, you almost wonder in runs like that, when a guy runs up against the wall that he was running into, how much of that was truly one injury or how much that was just a collection of, you know what, Tyler, you're tired. Sit down for a couple of weeks. But either way, he looks like a new guy. And so the thing that has been driving the Heat is their health. Jimmy Butler being on the court, Goran Dragic and Tyler Hero looking good, and adding the type of depth that they've added. I mean, when you can avoid those extra games, get yourself a few extra nights of rest, and go into the playoffs, whether that's against the Bucks, the Hawks, the Knicks, whoever it is, feeling good and 100%, you have to feel great if you're the Heat, right?
Yeah, and Jeremy, picking up on something you just said, I know that there are a handful of different teams we could open up the playoffs with, but we want the Knicks, right? That would be the most fun way to open up the playoffs.
1,000%. It's the most fun because you're going to win, and then you also get the fun of the physical matchup, right? Nobody thinks the Knicks are going to beat the Heat, right? Nobody listening to this program actually believes that. And that's of no offense to the New York Knicks. Like, Julius Randle really has turned into one of my favorite guys to watch not in a Heat uniform this season. He's been like a joy. And Tibbs' teams, look, Jimmy Butler is the way he is in part because of Tom Thibodeau. I would love to watch those two guys go at it, to watch the Heat and the Knicks, and especially because with the way those two teams play defense, it would feel, especially in comparison to the scores you'll see across the rest of the conference in series with teams like the Brooklyn Nets, right, the Philadelphia 76ers, you'll see scores in the 90s. And it would be a blast. Like, it would be really fun to watch those two teams play, especially because of what their individual seasons have been like, with the Heat being this roller coaster and the Knicks severely overachieving. So it would be, that's what I'm rooting for as well.
That would be so tremendous. We're joined here by Jeremy Taché. Does an awesome job on Bally Sports Florida and Bally Sports Sun. So, a player, and I know we're looking ahead a little bit here to the offseason, but Duncan Robinson is going to be a restricted free agent this summer. I know there's a lot of conversations being had, national and local media, about how much money it may take to keep him around, talking about potentially up to a $20 million offer sheet per year the Heat might have to match. And so, make the case, Jeremy, for what Duncan is doing this season and what makes him unique. Because in the past, I've said that the Heat have done a great job over the years finding and developing shooters. But Duncan he's one of the best 5 shooters in the league right now. And what are some of the things you see him doing that makes him potentially indispensable?
It's so funny. Going into the season, I probably would have had a similar conversation to what you just brought up. And I would have even, throughout points of this season, brought up, hey, well, look what Max Strus does when he's on the floor, right? And you could still, if you want to be a Duncan Robinson truther, right? You could point to some of Max Strus's good performances and say, the Heat know how to do this with guys. But on the flip side, when you look at what Duncan Robinson has actually done this season and the way that he's elevated his game, I think everybody anticipated, right, Tyler Hero going from being a rookie to a sophomore and making the leap, adding new elements to his game. Tyler Hero, whether that's because of the shortened off season, only being in the league for a year, whatever it is, he hasn't added all that much to his game from one year to the next. Duncan Robinson did. Duncan Robinson has been efficient off the dribble. Duncan Robinson has been playable, especially in the second half of the year on the defensive end. That's a huge upgrade from what you saw last year, right? During closing games in the playoffs when the Heat needed buckets, he couldn't be on the floor because he was so bad defensively. And now you'll see Duncan Robinson in closing lineups where he's not hurting the team defensively. So to improve his game off the dribble as a shooter, off the dribble as a passer, and on the defensive end, to see him sort of take leaps to where now he's not the worst in the league at any of those things. If anything, he's sort of middle of the road when you include his top level, and when I say top level, literally the best ever this quickly in terms of three-point shooting. You feel like that type of guy, you can't just lose that and replace it as easily as I think sometimes we Heat stands sort of tend to do with this, drafting and developing players. And again, Duncan could be used against himself when you say, okay, they took a D3 guy and turned him into this. They can take somebody more athletic or with more potential and turn him into something else. But sometimes that's easier said than done. And, there's countless examples of successes, but there's also plenty of guys, a couple of whom are scattered throughout the league who the Heat thought were the future and now are elsewhere and not even playing all that much. So, Duncan's turned himself into one of those guys that at least warrants the conversation about, $20 million a year.
How about a guy who was added after the buyout deadline and there was really like no buzz whatsoever because it was like, here's a body coming in. But Dwayne Dedmon, I mean, how good has he been? And it sounds to me like he's making a lot of friends in the locker room as well. These guys are raving about him behind the scenes. What's impressed you most about Dedmon?
And my favorite thing that I like to say is Dwayne Wade walked so Dwayne Dedmon could run. Dwayne Dedmon is he's really been the answer to so many of the Heat's problems, right? I mean, he has been tremendous in spurts for Miami, and that's all they really need. You have big men in Bam Adebayo and front court players like Trevor Ariza and Andre Iguodala who are going to play most of your minutes. This is a team that sort of wants to play small so that Jimmy can be in the post and play bully ball. And so you only need Dwayne Dedmon's skill set for 10 to 15 minutes a night, and he's been flawless. I don't think I've seen him make a singular mistake other than the occasional misread on, trying to make a perfect pass when he's setting a high pick. That's occasional, and he'll just get to laugh it off because he's so great the rest of the game, and he's going 6 of 7 from the field. His ability to be a physical presence for the Heat when Bam Adebayo is not in the game has completely changed their ability to run with that second unit. And so while you look at the offensive end and you say, now that Tyler has his legs under him and now that Dragic has his legs under him, look at what the second unit is doing. I would point to Dwayne Dedmon's signing as the moment that the second unit went from being gassed and blown out of the building every game and losing Remember the sequence when there were 5 or 6 games in a row when the Heat were leading by double digits after the first quarter, and then were trailing at the half. And it was because of the second unit. Because of Dwayne Dedmon and because of what he's installed defensively and in terms of his intelligence on the offensive end, it's been a completely different game, and it allows the rest of those guys to thrive.
Are we seeing now Bam becoming a much better closer? Like he had to do a lot more at the end of the game after Jimmy left with the eye problem yesterday. Because earlier in the season, and I love Bam. I've been singing Bam's praises even before he really started to emerge as a superstar. But then there were times when Jimmy wasn't on the floor and maybe Bam wasn't being aggressive enough. I'm seeing more of that lately now, Jeremy.
Certainly. And look, Bam is a guy who, if you look back to really since he's probably 15, 16 years old, when's the last time Bam Adebayo was the number one offensive option on a team? He played AAU ball with all the best players all across the country, so not then. He played at Kentucky with multiple guards who were scoring 20-plus points a game, so not then. He came to the Heat. He was a backup center, not then. He's still not the number one offensive option. He's never had to play that way. And so as his skills continue to develop and we see flashes of, oh, my gosh, that's Giannis Light or that's Kevin Garnett or, whoever that we all sort of salivate over, we have to remember that Bam is almost like LeBron in that way, where and like Jimmy, where he wants to set up his teammates before even being that number one offensive option in terms of scoring the basketball. And so when he does show those flashes, like we saw last game, like we've seen over the last few weeks, it reminds me of the moment where all of a sudden he was tested with, hey, go out and beat the Brooklyn Nets, and he dropped 40 points. And they might have lost, but he was terrific. It's almost like when he doesn't have to think about it, he just goes out and dominates. And so now he's sort of getting past that hump. And if he can be what he's been the last 3-4 games, along with Tyler being what he's been, you have to feel really, really confident headed into the playoffs.
Really well said, and I'm pumped for the playoffs. Jeremy Taché, he does an awesome job. You could follow him on Twitter at Jeremy Taché. Make sure you follow his social media so you can watch new episodes of Breakfast at Jeremy's when those drop, and check out his work at Bally Sports Florida and Bally Sports Sun. Jeremy, thank you so much for taking the time, man, and enjoy the rest of this regular season run before the real work begins.
Absolutely. Thanks, Alex. I appreciate it. Talk to you soon.
Awesome stuff there, and I love having Jeremy on, and I appreciated how, he said, I saw him on Twitter this afternoon say, since the Heat have been on national TV this week, they haven't had the games on Bally Sports Sun. He's been chomping at the bit to come on and talk, to come on and shoot the breeze with us, so I appreciate his time. You guys can text us at 844-416-8123. That's 844-416-8123. You can also join us and chat with us live on YouTube. Oh, Rafa in Miami writes in, is he not aware that we do not mention Le Drama here? I do mention Le Drama sometimes. I remind people about his love for communist China. I remind people about the way he disrespected and screwed over Pat Riley in the summer of 2014. So we sometimes do bring up Le Drama here on the show, usually for negative stuff. I actually, though, when I'm watching LeBron trolling Spike Lee, it's like sometimes the enemy of your enemy is your friend, right? So when LeBron is trolling Spike, I got into that a little bit. I'm like, all right, LeBron, you've got my attention now. All right, so we'll wrap up the hour when we come back. I want to bring in maybe at 4 o'clock, if you can't just give me the thumbs up or the thumbs down. If Kai Chen Chisholm, I get the thumbs up. He could join me at 4 o'clock. We'll talk a little Dolphins. Well, Sean Stanley was giving me the thumbs down. Do you want to come on and talk wrestling later, Sean? He says he's going to get food. We got the whole. Oh, it's a foodie Wednesday. I love that. We got the whole crew here because we're gonna have all hands on deck tonight because we have Inter Miami CF taking on CF Montreal. So that's going to be here on Onside Radio, 6:30 pregame. And also, we're going to have a special 30-minute edition of Red Card Radio with Austin Robillard. I suggested, since it's only 30 minutes, it's half a show, we should call it Yellow Card Radio. But Austin's going to be in. That means I get crosstalk with Austin before his show starts. He's going to bridge us between my show and the pregame tonight at 6:30, which just means a whole lot more awesome soccer insight from Austin because he's he's like an encyclopedia. Whether he's talking about his stinky Manchester United team or he's talking about some real American soccer with Major League Soccer, he does a great job. So we'll wrap up the 3 o'clock hour when we come back on the only locally owned sports station in South Florida. We are OnSideRadio.com.
We'll be right back to the Man of the Match with Alex Donno. You can join us on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623. You're listening to the only sports station in South Florida that likes to take your calls, 888-441-4623. We connect with a South Florida sports fan because we are South Florida, locally owned and operated. 888-441-4623. OnSideRadio.com, South Florida's home for real sports talk. You can connect with us at OnSideRadio.com by sending us a text at 844-416-8123. Save it on your cell phone, 844-416-8123. No better place to send your comments, ask questions, win prizes. OnSideRadio.com, the only choice for the South Florida sports fan. Every Thursday, NBA fans can catch one of the best basketball shows in the country when Ethan Skolnick and Ira Winderman host Inside the Paint. Listen to two of the most knowledgeable and connected reporters in the business. Get year-round insight every Thursday at 10:30 a.m. with Inside the Paint on the home for hardcore basketball fans. OnSideRadio.com.
Big O for M&S Air Conditioning. You know, air quality in your home and business is more important than ever. That's why you've got to call M&S Air Conditioning and let them install a high-efficiency polarized air filter in your AC unit. Folks, it attracts, captures, and destroys biological contaminants to improve your air quality. With stellar customer service, answering your call from 7:30 a.m. till 9 o'clock p.m. For more info on high-efficiency air filters and their preventative maintenance plans, visit M&S Air Conditioning at ac-florida.com.
Hey, it's Toast, and no doubt last year hurricane season was one of the craziest we've ever seen. Well, Noah's saying once again, going to be another active season, so you need to call B&T Windows and Doors today and get PGT custom windows and doors installed like I did so that you are fully protected. Listen, there's no better peace of mind than PGT custom windows and doors when you're in the cone of death for a Category 5 storm. Call B&T Windows and Doors today to get set up. 954-233-0126. That's 954-233-0126.
You're listening to this station with more live and local sports talk than anyone else in South Florida. OnSideRadio.com. Broadcasting from South Florida to the world.
Oh, it's a poor touch there from Sosa. Higuain is in. Gonzalo Higuain onto his left. Gonzalo Higuain has got underneath it. Did it take a deflection? It did not. He just skied it into the supporters section. And after consultation with the assistant, it will indeed be a corner.
When you're looking to add that extra style and protection for your home or business, visit a shade above Window Fashions in Davie or Sunrise, where plantation shutters are a major part of our business, and they look great in any home. We have them in white, stained colors, and wood tones. We can even motorize your shutters like the one in the OnSideRadio.com studio. A shade above Window Fashions, 954-434-4774. That's 954-434-4774. Love the space you live in. A shade above Window Fashions.
You're listening to the only sports station in South Florida that likes to take your calls. 888-441-4623. We connect with a South Florida sports fan because we are South Florida, locally owned and operated. 888-441-4623. OnSideRadio.com, South Florida's home for real sports talk. Welcome back to the Man of the Match with Alex Donno. You can reach out anytime on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623.
I'm really glad that the details and tidbits of the NFL schedule, it tends to leak throughout the day, so I don't have to watch that dopey show on ESPN tonight at 8 p.m. It's like, you know, I get it. Like, I'm kind of interested in knowing like exactly what dates we play and who we play against every given week. And then we do the thing every year where I go through the schedule and explain why we're going to go, I guess it would be 20-0 this year if they go 17-0 and then they cut through the playoffs like a hot knife through butter. Big O made a good point today. He was talking to his listeners, and like the people who really, really care about the schedule drop are the crazy fans, and God bless you, but the ones who travel to multiple games. Or if you're from out of town and you want to come down here to the home stadium and you have to plan a trip around it, then yeah, I mean the schedule release is very, very important to you. So we found out this morning the Dolphins week 1 deja vu at New England, just like last year, week 1 at New England. Hopefully different outcome, because that was one of the few times Cam Newton actually looked good, because he ran all over the Dolphins in week 1 last year. I don't love it or hate it. Like I don't love it because I was kind of getting my hopes up. Not that I really thought they would do this, but I loved the potential idea, because we know Tampa Bay is on the schedule this year, and I was kind of hoping we get the Thursday night season opener against the champs, because that would have been kind of fun. But they give it to the Dallas Cowboys, like they give it to the so-called America's team. I hope Brady and the Bucs wipe the floor with those losers. But we open up on the road at New England on the first Sunday. Yeah, listen, it's fine. What I like about it is it's always nice to get the road Patriot game out of the way early. So it's not winter there yet. So, yeah, I will make my trip to Foxborough happily in September, so I don't have to make it in December, right? So now the options you have for cold weather games are vastly decreased, right? I mean, they're going to, I'm sure, end up like putting us in Buffalo around Christmas like they usually do, but at least you get New England out of the way, and you're not going to have to play there when the weather is bad. And it's going to be obviously Tua for the Dolphins, probably going to be Cam Newton. If there's any way, shape, or form Mac Jones gets the week 1 start, I think that would only happen if Cam is injured. I don't see how they would start the season with Mac over a healthy Newton. But if there was like some way we could get Tua, and maybe we'll see it in the second meeting, because in the second meeting, who knows? Because Newton gets hurt a lot. And New England may like sort of do a gradual pass. I don't really think the passing of the torch would probably happen until 2022, but if they do have some kind of a plan in mind to have Newton hand it off to Mac Jones during the season, then maybe down here in Miami is when we would get Tua versus Mac. But Tua versus Mac week 1 would be a lot of fun. The former Alabama teammates. But yeah, you want to be in Foxborough as early as you possibly can. So I like it. Get it out of the way. It is a high-profile game. People are going to be talking about the student, Brian Flores maybe becoming the teacher and beating Belichick like he did once last year, lost one and won one last year. So I'm good with that. We also know that the Dolphins are going to be traveling to London this year. And you don't lose a home game doing it. It's against the Jacksonville Jaguars. So the Jaguars are giving up the home game, not the Dolphins. Will Tim Tebow still be a member of the Jags at that point? That's what we got to find out. But you're going to be going up against Trevor Lawrence. Urban Meyer's going to be on the other sideline. That's going to be the London game. I mean, the Jaguars are like halfway a London team anyway. The NFL really, that's the team that they rammed down London's throat. So I'm just glad that they're the ones losing the home game, not the Miami Dolphins. So that's the couple of big details we have now about the Miami Dolphins schedule. So 4 o'clock hour coming up. We're going to talk a little Dolphins and maybe a little soccer with our pal Kai Chen Chisholm. He's going to join us from Kai's Corner. He's hanging out here because he's part of the crew tonight. We're going to have Robillard in the building. We got Kai in the building. Big O's taking a big nap right now. He's going to be back a little bit later. Sean Stanley's out. By the way, when Sean Stanley comes back, I know he's roaming around the building somewhere. I heard him a couple days ago actually list his McDonald's order. I want to know how much he pays, like when he go, because like his McDonald's order contains like multiple sandwiches and McNuggets and like probably 2 or 3 sodas like in one drive. Like, is he paying? Because McDonald's is not that cheap. Like it was cheap like in the 90s, but McDonald's is not that cheap. So is he paying like $40 for one person going through the drive-thru window? I got to get more details on that, but we'll talk with Kai, host of Kai's Corner, 10 a.m. to noon every single day, exclusively right here on OnSideRadio.com.
We'll be right back to the Man of the Match with Alex Donno. You can join us on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623. You're listening to the home of Inter Miami CF.
His strike is a decent one. It's fired into the top right corner. Gonzalo Higuain opens his account for Inter Miami.
OnsideRadio.com, where the passion for La Rosa Negra runs deep.
Inter Miami CF fans, join us at our new home this season for all away games as we broadcast live at Dangerous Minds Brewing Company, 1901 North Federal Highway in Pompano Beach. Join Big O and Alex Donno for the live pregame, halftime, and postgame shows while we watch the games. Enjoy meticulously brewed beer on site, delicious artisanal pizzas, live music, and giveaways. So, the new home for all Inter Miami road games is at Dangerous Minds Brewing Company at the Pompano City Mall, where they'll feature all the Inter Miami games. Follow them on Twitter at Dangerous Minds B and Facebook and Instagram at Dangerous Minds Brewing, and visit them at dangerousmindsbrewing.com.
When you're looking for curtains and blinds to create a space of your own, look no further than Bandalux. Bandalux can tailor your space to your needs. Create the atmosphere and ambiance you desire. We invite you to discover it at Bandalux.com. Explore our new solar control systems, range of sustainable fabrics, and energy-efficient solutions that can improve your well-being and quality of life. Witness Bandalux Beauty. Go to Bandalux.com or follow them on Instagram at Bandalux_official. For a personal experience, A Shade Above Window Fashions in Davie and Sunrise is an official Bandalux partner.
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your Inter Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or intermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where Inter Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
You're listening to OnsideRadio.com. Catch up anytime by downloading the MyTuner Radio app. OnsideRadio.com, South Florida's true hometown station. You're listening to this station with more live and local sports talk than anyone else in South Florida. OnsideRadio.com, broadcasting from South Florida to the world. Welcome back to the Man of the Match with Alex Donno.
It's all yours. Just keep it right here.
You can reach out anytime on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623.
4 o'clock hour, Man of the Match here on Onside Radio, taking you up until 6 o'clock tonight. Oh, this is exciting. I haven't heard from this guy in a couple of weeks, I think, on the text line. Donno, Kenneth Cleveland is live from the Boom Boom Room. There is a Boom Boom Room board meeting tonight with a Dolphin scheduling party. I can't, Kenneth, you got to move this. I can't make it tonight. We got an Inter Miami game. Can you move it to Drive Pink Stadium? Can you move the Boom Boom Room? He says, then afterwards we'll be with the lovely ladies, Hallie, Selma, Sophia, Paige, Charlize, and Beyonce. It's steak and lobster in the VIP tonight. Oh, my God, that sounds great.
We're missing out.
Yeah, but you know what? I'm not missing out because we got our guy Kai Chen Chisholm
That's
here
right.
in studio with us.
What's up?
Host of Kai's Corner every day, 10 a.m. to noon. So first of all, I got to ask you because I know you're a Gators fan. What do you make of all this Tebow stuff with Jacksonville? Publicity stunt, or do you think he's going to prove a lot of people wrong?
I mean, he should have done it years ago.
That's what I've been saying.
That's like
Yeah.
the thing. There's so many different sides to it, and I think everyone's just been so off with it. It's like, yes, like especially I've heard this stuff of, oh, he wants Tebow for his locker room. He should, because like, let's be honest, Urban, what he had in, Gainesville besides Tim, and then what he had at Ohio State, like, there was a lot of shady things that was going on with Urban and his coaching staff and his locker rooms and how everything was happening. My Gators bias aside, like, Tim, though, is just, he's a larger-than-life personality. Everybody looks at him and they love him because, it's Tim freaking Tebow. He doesn't do anything wrong. It's impossible not to. I think that it has to be something for PR, but again, he should have just done it so long ago. Like, all he had to do was Tim had to put Tim's ego aside and just say, okay, you know what? There is a chance that I can go out there and be a pretty good tight end, and everyone thinks I could possibly be a good tight end, and might as well. Let me just switch instead of saying, all right, well, no, I want to be a quarterback, and then going and playing in the minor leagues for the Mets. Like,
no.
He should have just done the transition so much quicker, and it would have been easier.
Well, what do you make of the Nuggets we've gotten on the Dolphins schedule so far? Like I mentioned, playing at New England week 1. I don't love it because it's the same thing as last year and it's kind of boring. But then at the same time, you want to get Foxborough out of the way early.
Yeah, it's the other leak that we've seen so far has been Buffalo week 8 away.
Oh, I haven't even seen that one yet.
Now it's
that's not that's relatively early too.
Yeah, and then the other one is like week 16 against New Orleans on Monday Night Football. So there's a couple that have been coming out where it's like, all right, it's got some, Monday Night Football. Here's the thing that I don't like, and I'm hoping that, I feel like the Dolphins' curse is always Baltimore on Thursday nights.
Oh,
and then the last time we played Monday night against New Orleans, I remember we were 3-0 or 4-0, and then we got killed on Monday Night Football. It's like those are kind of the ones where it's like, it brings back such bad memories as a Dolphin fan, watching it. I just hope it's not. There's no Drew Brees and Jameis. He is a 30 for 30 himself, so let's see. And Taysom Hill's got a 4-year, $140 million voidable year contract. I guess, unless they want to throw out Sam Ellinger, but or it was Sam Ellinger who they drafted, right? Or was it the Colts who drafted him?
They
drafted
a quarterback
as well.
Ellinger. Yeah.
So I'm not too upset with the week 1. I think last year you came out there and your offense lost you the football game. I know Cam was running all over everybody, but let's be real. Ryan Fitzpatrick threw 3 interceptions. They lost 19-12, and he threw some really bad interceptions. You can win that game very easily. I think it's just Cam Newton has shown us right now he can't throw the football. Mac Jones, no one really knows what he's going to be.
Right.
Start off the year with a win.
We got earlier a hypothetical trade. RC in the 305 put this in the chat. I said no. He said, how would you react if the following transpired? The Dolphins trade 2 number 1s in 22 and 23 drafts for Aaron Rodgers, and
no
you
shot.
throw Will. Yeah, I'm not even done. Plus Wilkins, and then you send Tua to the Saints for a 2nd rounder next year. I love Aaron Rodgers. That's so much to give up for a guy who's going to be 38 years old in a few months.
It just even that it just doesn't. I don't know. None of that makes sense. If you're the Packers, especially, why are you? You don't know what you have in Jordan Love right now.
Yeah.
You say, according to some reports, they don't even think that he's ready to play. You traded up to get him, and the whole big thing is if what you should be focusing on is trying to patch up the relationship with Aaron Rodgers. Not, oh yeah, look, we'll throw more money at you, because he's shown multiple times. It's so accessible for them to just go on to the Pat McAfee show and see all the interviews he did all year with Pat, and you can tell he doesn't really care about the money. It's the respect thing. He just wants the respect from the organization.
The thing, though, that's tough is I don't know if anyone in the human race has ever successfully patched things up with Aaron Rodgers. This guy reportedly, he doesn't talk to his own mom. So it's
his family is.
If he can't patch it up with his blood relatives, I don't know how the Packers are going to patch it up.
Of all the things, and I think that what they've been so stupid about it. All these reports that are going out. Oh, but we wanted to trade up for Justin Jefferson. We wanted to trade up for Brandon Ayuk, and then I can't remember the other one that was drafted. But they all went, and we didn't want to give up too much, so we traded up and we took a quarterback.
As if that makes it better.
That totally makes it better, Brian Gutekunst, that you released that information publicly. We wanted to help him, but we didn't want to give up so much, so we went up for their quarterback. That's really going to help? No, but I don't think that trading for Aaron Rodgers makes any sense. And I think people are just, they look at Tua and they look at the year that he had and they just want to be upset about it and forget the fact that the dude wasn't even supposed to be ready to practice until November.
Right.
And he was playing full games in November. It's ridiculous.
And the funny thing is, I start to hear some of the same members of the national media that were bashing Tua are starting to kind of come around. It's weird. I hear Mel Kiper saying really nice things about Tua this past week about how, because I think at least people are respecting the idea that the Dolphins clearly believe in him, because if they didn't, they would have stuck with number 3. They would have drafted another quarterback. And instead of doing that, kind of doing what the Packers did, going out and getting Jordan Love, the Dolphins have doubled down, and not only did they trade down from 3, but they're putting weapons around him. So I think what's happening here is people are starting to realize that Flores and Greer actually know what they're doing, and they're starting to give the Dolphins brass the benefit of the doubt. And as a lifelong Dolphin fan, it's been at least 20 years since I've seen anyone giving that front office the benefit of the doubt.
23 years of my life, and I've never experienced anything where I look at the Dolphins and I'm optimistic. Even after the 16 season with Gase, I was like, all right, but then you go out here and you draft Charles Harris, and I mean, it seemed good, but at the same time, there were other pressing needs, and your starting running back has bone-to-bone needs. Like,
oh, my God.
It was just like, okay, but what is, like, yeah, I can be excited, but I wasn't like, it was still Mike Tannenbaum at the helm. And at that point, it's like, how are you going to be optimistic with that guy at the helm? It doesn't make any sense. And then with I guess that's the last thing I can say with the Packers is, even with the Jordan Love stuff, you were coming off a season in which your quarterback was having a new, head coach. They started to mesh very well together. And the clear thing that you needed was help against the run, because the 49ers ran all over you. So you could have even just gone and gotten someone to help against the run, and you would have been set at least somewhat. And instead, you just don't do that. You go out and you get like Devin Funches, and then he opts out for COVID, which, listen, like that's his right and everything.
Sure.
And a lot of players did so. But there's so much that you could have done, and they just were like, all right, Jordan Love, cool. Like, I don't get it.
We're joined here, Kai Chen Chisholm from Kai's Corner, 10 a.m. to noon every day here on Onside Radio. He's in the building with us. And, of course, you're sticking around for the game. You're going to hop on with us post-game. You're going to do some work during the game. So what's your expectation today? Because, Montreal, they've gone 2 games without scoring goals. These teams have this identical records and identical point totals. But over these last couple of games, they're kind of trending in opposite directions. And I know Inter Miami are coming off a draw. Really should have been a victory, at least a chance, to get a penalty kick or 2. Yeah, three penalties it could have been called.
3 chances,
It's killing me. Do you think they get their first win at home tonight?
I think so. I'm really interested to see what Austin says, because every time I talk with, and I should have asked him this morning, but usually he's always like, all right, it's going to be a clean sheet. And it's like, okay. But it's I'm interested.
Is he usually right, though?
No. I mean, last time he said, I think he said last time 2-0. If I'm not mistaken. So it was like, and then he said 2-0 this morning. Okay, yeah. So, I mean, I think like a 1-0. My biggest issue has been, and especially while learning more about the MLS, has been like, I love watching possession-based football. And of course, like Germany and the Bundesliga, that's what they do. They play possession-based football and
I love if I can see my team shithouse a win with like 30% possession. I'm like a kid in a candy store. I love it.
No, that's completely fine. Listen, if I get dominated possession, it's fine.
Sure.
But that's what I like. My soccer starting to watch soccer was I'm donning the crest of them right now. It's like watching the German national team.
It's a nice Gotze jersey.
I
you
love
got
it.
there.
It has like it's from the Euros in 2016, I
Beautiful.
believe, because it says Stadium de France. So I have no idea, but I bought it and I love it. But I like watching possession-based football, so it's been difficult to adapt to some of the MLS game, and especially how Inter Miami's been dominating possession every single game, and Atlanta really dominated in possession on Sunday. Now you lost Matuidi midway through, or not even midway through the game, pretty much at the start of the game.
Yeah, it was I think he picked up the knock like 7 or 8 minutes in. Yeah. He was subbed off in the 14th minute.
So, like, you deal with that, and that's already, him and Gregory, they've been a pretty good partnership thus far. So, you lose one of that pair, and then you have guys playing out of position. I would be expecting, like, a 1-0 or 2-0, win for Inter. It's just, I think it's going to come down to, like, the really small mistakes. That's what I feel like it's been hurting them, and you saw it against the Galaxy. Is like, those very, very small mistakes, whether it's, from defense to the keeper or anything like that. It's like just the tiny, tiny mistakes they'll get you in football. It's just going to happen. I mean, the perfect example is today, like the Chelsea Arsenal goal. It's a mistake by the defender where, I believe Kepa's the one that was starting, is outside on the goal, and he passes it thinking that Kepa's in the middle. They give up a goal easy like that because it gets passed out to Emil Smith Rowe.
It's not good news because I got Chelsea on the money line today, so it's not very.
But it's like in soccer, those tiny, tiny mistakes just will affect you immensely. And that's been the biggest issue, is those tiny mistakes. I mean, the Josef goal, he turned something out of nothing.
Oh, that was beautiful.
You shouldn't be letting him get into the box in the first place in that moment. Like, he shouldn't have been there. Balls needed to be cleared better. So I expect them to win, and I think they're on the right path. It's not like last season. I think that they all believe in, Phil Neville, and I think Phil Neville believes in all of his players, and they're really, rallying around him and what his expectations are. And I think it's a much different atmosphere and expectation now than it was last season.
That's really well said. On the other side, I got to, even if it's for a couple minutes, I see Sean Stanley over there. Sean, I got to get you after this break on the mic for at least a couple minutes, because I heard you a week or two ago on Kai's show, you described your McDonald's order. I've got questions, sir, and only you can provide answers for me. So make sure. And by the way, at 4:35 today, we're going to talk some Florida Panthers with Bill Lindsay. The blonde bomber is going to join us. So huge shout out to Kai Chen Chisholm for hopping in. You guys are going to hear from him post game. Robillard and what do we call it? The law firm of Chisholm and Robillard. The Chambers.
The Chambers. Yeah. I believe I'm doing a little bit of pregame as well. Yeah.
Nice. That's awesome.
Pregame, so we'll be around.
That's going to be a good time.
I'll be back here editing anyway.
Make sure you check him out every day, 10 a.m. to noon, right here on OnSideRadio.com. I got to answer a question from Doug E. Fresh on the other side. He knows I'm a married guy and I don't wear the pants in my relationship, so he's got an important question to me about holidays. So I'm going to tackle that on the other side as well. And at 4:35, we're going to talk some Florida Panthers hockey with Bill Lindsay. Hey, Saturdays from 1 to 3 p.m., baseball fans can go deep into the count with Alex Aguirre and Christian Chase. Catch the show that talks Marlins and all the big stories in the major leagues. Every Saturday from 1 to 3 p.m., Seamheads have a new home. Listen to Deep Into the Count exclusively at OnSideRadio.com.
We'll be right back to the Man of the Match with Alex Donno. You can join us on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623. You can connect with us at OnSideRadio.com by sending us a text at 844-416-8123. Save it on your cell phone, 844-416-8123. No better place to send your comments, ask questions, win prizes. OnSideRadio.com, the only choice for the South Florida sports fan. If you missed Onside Zone with Big O, you missed.
Hey, Big O, what's going on? Listen, I just was telling your guy that answering the phone, Alex, it's just a pleasure, man, to get out of work and get in your car and be able to put on the radio and hear South Florida sports and not have to listen to some bull crap about another team from another state that you can give to a rat's ass about and sit there and have to go through all this other bull crap talk to, again, never hear them talk about your team once or twice in 20 hours. It's just an honor, and I wanted to thank you, man, for starting this thing up, man. It's balls to the walls. I love it.
Onside Zone with a Big O from 12 noon to 3 p.m. every weekday on OnSideRadio.com.
Inter Miami CF fans, join us at our new home this season for all away games as we broadcast live at Dangerous Minds Brewing Company, 1901 North Federal Highway in Pompano Beach. Join Big O and Alex Donno for the live pregame, halftime, and postgame shows while we watch the games. Enjoy meticulously brewed beer on site, delicious artisanal pizzas, live music, and giveaways. So, the new home for all Inter Miami road games is at Dangerous Minds Brewing Company at the Pompano City Mall, where they'll feature all the Inter Miami games. Follow them on Twitter at Dangerous Minds B and Facebook and Instagram at Dangerous Minds Brewing, and visit them at dangerousmindsbrewing.com.
Hey Panthers fans, Dave Dwork here with some awesome news. Every Saturday, I'm going to bring you the latest on everything to do with the Florida Panthers with Chirping the Cats Radio. Saturday mornings from 10 to 11 a.m., we'll dive into the state of the team, recap games, and hear from past and present Panthers players, and plenty of other great hockey guests too. Got questions about the Panthers? Call or text the show and we'll break it down. Don't miss Chirping the Cats Radio, Saturday mornings from 10 to 11 a.m. only on OnSideRadio.com.
Big O for M&S Air Conditioning. You know, air quality in your home and business is more important than ever. That's why you've got to call M&S Air Conditioning and let them install a high-efficiency polarized air filter in your AC unit. Folks, it attracts, captures, and destroys biological contaminants to improve your air quality. With stellar customer service, answering your call from 7:30 a.m. till 9 o'clock p.m. For more info on high-efficiency air filters and their preventative maintenance plans, visit M&S Air Conditioning at ac-florida.com.
Fish fans, time to reel in the latest news in baseball with OnSideRadio.com's Marlins Minute. Here's Christian Chase.
Brewers, Marlins, Game 3. Marlins look to win another series again against the Brewers. And they had their ace, Sandy Alcantara, on the mound coming into the game, a 2.95 ERA. And after 7 innings of one-run
ADHD. It's the child who can't pay attention or sit still in school, right? The answer may be yes. Attention Deficit Hyperactivity Disorder, or ADHD, can be complicated and it can last a lifetime. Living with a condition can sometimes be a challenge. It may take years to accept a formal diagnosis, and it's not always easy to find the right treatment plan. Did you know that up to 75% of children and adolescents with ADHD have at least one additional mental health condition that also requires a comprehensive approach to treatment? ADHD guidelines were recently updated to reflect the need to screen for associated disorders. Be sure to talk with your child's doctor about proper screening and visit moretoadhd.com for additional information. That's moretoadhd.com. This message has been brought to you in partnership with ADA, ACO, and CHAD.
Welcome back to the Man of the Match with Alex Donno. You can reach out anytime on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623.
Back here on Onside Radio, huge thanks to Kai Chen Chisholm for joining us. And I love how we got all hands on deck. Every Onside Radio personality is hanging around because we're all working the Inter Miami CF Montreal game here tonight. Sean Stanley is now with us. He's the host of Squared Circle Digest. He's also are you executive producer? What's your title? Do you have a title?
I gave myself executive producer for the Inter Miami CF.
Well, and honestly, if no one can tell you no, you could have given yourself any title. Like, you could have been like the president of programming or something.
I went low, didn't I?
You went really low.
Had a chance. There I go.
Could have been like, because I guess you could have been president of programming because that's big O, but you could have been like VP of programming. You could have given yourself that title. That would have sounded way
Next time
better.
I'm coming to you first, Donna. Before I do anything, man. I'm coming to you before I make my business cards.
No doubt. So I had to ask you because a week or two ago, I heard you and Kai were on, and you described your McDonald's order, and this is like your typical. This wasn't like one day when you were really hungry. This is like your signature order. This is what you get, right?
Yeah, this is what I get when I go. Yeah.
So describe it. What is your McDonald's order?
I go and I do the right now because the sales are on right now. So the quarter pounders.
They're on sale?
Get one for $1.
I didn't even know that.
Yes. So what you do is you buy one of those and you get a Big Mac for $1. So now you got both those.
Okay.
All right. Got to throw in the 2 McDoubles, a large fry, a 10-piece nugget, and then because I'm watching my figure, I get the McChicken.
No freaking way. That's like 5 sandwiches and like nuggets and fries. Okay, so 2 questions.
But Alex, look at it. Best shape of my life, round.
Well, and the thing is, like, I always say this. You carry it well, though.
Oh, I carry it so well. My knees don't carry it well, but I carry it well.
You carry it well because, like, for me, like when I get especially plump, it's like I got like rolls in places where rolls shouldn't go. Like I don't carry it well.
Yeah,
you carry it well.
Yeah, it goes to the front.
It's
I don't know about the
central.
love handles. Yes, it's centrally located.
In fact, like if you were really skinny, you wouldn't look good.
If you looked at me, how much do you think I weigh right now?
285.
Nope. 345.
345?
345.
See, again, you carry it so like the 60 pounds. It shouldn't be there. Bro.
6'1" and round, baby.
Okay, so 2 questions on your McDonald's order. A, how long does it take you to eat all that food?
Probably about 25, 30 minutes.
That's it?
Yeah.
Wow.
Because you got to see the fries, they get put on the quarter pounder and the McDouble. So they get taken out right there with the sandwich.
It's like a 2 for 1.
Yeah.
You're like stacking sandwiches on sandwiches and fries on fries.
Definitely. It's the only way to go. It's all going in the same place.
So then, and the other question, and this is probably not that bad because it sounds like you're good at finding the deals because like you know about the extra sandwich for $1 stuff. So like the thing is like McDonald's is not that cheap. Like it used to when I was a kid, it used to be really cheap, but now it's the quality's gone up since the 90s, I think. So the prices have gone up a little bit. So like, does that order cost you like $25, $30? Like how much does that cost you?
Usually about $17.85 is usually my order. Yeah, and then sometimes I'll throw in the Coke and for $1. Because soft drinks are only $1 at McDonald's, so.
Oh, so again, like you don't have to get a combo because you're getting
that's where they get you. If you start getting the combos, and then also the fries separate is where they get you. The sandwiches are always good price. You get one for $1. Then you buy a medium fry, and it's $3.50.
So you need me to negotiate like your next contract.
Yes,
and
do.
I need you to negotiate my next drive-through.
Oh, let's do it.
Because I feel like if I had the same order that you order, I'd probably be paying like $28 for the same order. You're paying $17 for.
Oh no, you got to go with the deals. That's why Before the McDoubles were $1.20. They were $1. Then they upped them to $1.29.
Oh my God! How dare they?
Tell me about it. And then, fortunately, most McDonald's are near Dunkin' Donuts, so then you can go through and get a frozen coffee.
I never
as well.
thought about that.
A large frozen coffee.
So,
with caramel
and you know,
for dessert.
sometimes the people who are like masters of fast food will do like I've actually heard from people who will get a sandwich at one spot and then they'll go somewhere else to get the fries. Have you ever done that?
You know, I have not, but I've done it for my girl. She likes the Checkers fries.
Really?
She doesn't like the
Which
Checkers
are really
burgers
the Checkers
so much.
fries are really good.
Yeah, she likes Checkers fries. So I'll go grab a burger from somewhere, and then we'll get the fries from there.
Wow, that is like
do
like
that.
a life hack.
Yeah.
Jeez.
And then sometimes, you know, I like Taco Bell as well. So that's the deals are there at Taco Bell.
And that's
as well.
is that the best deal in fast food? Because you're obviously you're good at like what's the fast food place you go to and you say I know I'm going to be saving extra money at this spot? Because to me, I think it's Taco Bell, but I'm not as well versed.
Well, it depends. If you get the little cutouts in the papers, Burger King is the best. Because you can
Well,
go
what
there.
is that, the cutout?
They got
it's like the coupons.
The coupons, but they got a whole sheet of them. So you can go, you can get the chicken sandwiches. They get you because you can only do one at a time. But what you do is you drive through a couple times, and then you get to use the coupon each time. They don't tell you can't drive through, 3 times. So you just go back, wait in line, drive in, drive through, drive through.
Have you ever thought of being like, because I think these are starting to pop up at some universities, like a professor of fast food?
Ooh.
Because like I feel like there's got to be a university somewhere where that's a program.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
They're teaching classes in anything now.
Yeah, they'll probably have that at like FIU, FAU, one
Probably
of those.
so.
The University of Fast Food. I could do that. A doctorate. I could get an MD in fast food.
An MD and Mickey D's.
Oh, that would be so good. That'd be so good.
Oh man, great
Did they
stuff.
score? Oh no, I thought they scored. I'm sorry.
No, it's 2-1. No, I was actually clapping for you. That's why I was so impressed.
I'm not used to that. I'm not used to getting the claps for me.
So he's Sean Stanley. You could hear him. Squared Circle Digest. What do you have planned this weekend on the show?
Well, we got a pay-per-view coming up this weekend. WWE Backlash, WrestleMania Backlash. So it's going to be interesting because they're showing the same stuff on TV. WWE is almost unwatchable at this point.
Really?
Because they're showing the same stuff over and over because there's no traveling. They used to be able to work the matches out at the live shows. There's no traveling anymore, so they're kind of doing it during the TV now, and it's making it unwatchable.
So like because of COVID, no traveling, or
yeah,
what?
yeah, they haven't done any shows. July, AEW will start actually here in Miami at the James L. Knight Center. They'll be doing live show in front of fans.
AEW seems to be where the wrestling hipsters are going. Is that the better product right now, AEW?
It's the better product for, I think, what people want right now, which is something different than WWE.
Yeah.
They're doing it opposite of what WWE is doing, so it's bringing in that audience. It's got the, as Eric Bischoff said on thing, it's an independent feel, but I think that's what people are relating to at AEW right now.
Yeah, like for me, I used to be, this is decades ago now, but I used to be a hardcore wrestling fan. Like I'd go on message boards and stuff, like in the late 90s. But then it just, I don't know, it wasn't really the same for me when the WWE, when they bought out ECW and the WCW.
Yep.
Like all of a sudden it was kind of like, just the giant like swallowed everybody up.
Yeah, no, that's
and then
exactly
I don't know,
happened.
like I didn't, I mean, maybe it eventually got better, but I just didn't really wait around a long time. Like I kept watching for like 3 or 4 months. So I'm like, I'm out.
I mean, better possibly, but I think once the COVID hit and now you're watching the same stuff over and over, it's starting to, like I said, it's almost unwatchable now. I DVR it now. I don't even watch the live shows of the WWE anymore. I pretty much DVR it so I can fast forward through what I don't want to watch.
Have the pay-per-views been good, though?
Well, again, here's the thing. They just signed the 5-year, $2 billion deal with Peacock. Now that's where the WWE Network is for the U.S.
Yeah,
they have all that money now. They don't have to worry whether you watch pay-per-view or not. They've already been paid for everything.
That's just actually, and I'm not going to say the product isn't good, but that's similar to what the UFC did with ESPN.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So like they get paid up front for the pay-per-views.
Yep.
So, but it's like I can't say the product has really suffered because of that, but
yeah,
it's like the incentives
suffered,
are
but
different.
It's lazy writing right now. It's very lazy. Again, with wrestling, it's more about the storytelling and getting invested. I always say, with wrestling, it's about emotionally investing in the product. If you're emotionally invested, you're going to watch. That's what your Dusty Rhodes, your Ric Flairs, they made you emotionally invest in that character so that you always wanted to see people beat up Ric Flair.
Right.
You always hated him, but you're going to go watch it because you think, oh, tonight this guy's going to beat him up, when he really has no chance of beating him up, but you believe it, so then you go and you buy a seat.
So, like, wrestling, especially, like, the WWF attitude, like, in the late 90s, they used to have a lot of very, like, risque storylines. You couldn't do those today with cancel culture and stuff. So if someone were to pull up, like, the archives on Peacock, do they censor it?
Censoring them.
I was going to ask you that.
They pulled a bunch of stuff out of the Raws,
Yeah, because it's like, I don't know.
That's why it's taking so long. I think they're going to say the full library will be up around August or September.
Yeah.
There's still not all the shows are not in there from the thing because they're having to pull a lot of that out.
It's pretty incredible, like, how much content has had to change, like, in the last 15 years or so. You just can't. Oh my God, we should have scored right there. What the freak happened, man?
Injury.
Yeah, he got looked like he got clipped in the box. But they're pointing to the penalty spot. Yeah, bitches, let's do it. It's like a little because he did get the shot away. So I think that they're trying to say, or no, did they say he was offside? I don't know. I got to wait for them to sort this out. Conte doesn't look happy, so it's probably not a penalty kick.
Here we go. Here's the replay.
I get very into this, and so his foot got stepped on. Clearly, it looks like a penalty to me. Oh, it's Pinamonti, the young lad.
Yeah, he stepped.
Yeah. We'll see what happens there. I appreciate it. Sean Stanley, you can listen to this man. It's Saturdays at 9 a.m.?
Saturdays, 9 a.m., bright and early. Wake up with me.
I love it. Saturdays at 9 a.m. Squared Circle Digest. Sean does an awesome job every week. Thank you so much, man.
No, thank you, Alex.
I love it. And when we come back, we're going to talk some Florida Panthers with Bill Lindsay. The Blonde Bomber himself is going to join us. We're going to get you ready for playoffs. Florida Panthers taking on the Tampa Bay Lightning. And speaking of hockey, make sure Florida Panthers fans know you have a place to call home every Saturday morning as Cats insider David Dwork hosts Chirping the Cats Radio every Saturday at 10 a.m. Onside Radio is committed to all sports, and Panthers fans can now connect every Saturday from 10 to 11 a.m. with David Dwork on the home for Panthers fans worldwide, onsideradio.com.
We'll be right back to the Man of the Match with Alex Donno. You can join us on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623. You can connect with us at OnsideRadio.com by sending us a text at 844-416-8123. Save it on your cell phone, 844-416-8123. No better place to send your comments, ask questions, win prizes. OnsideRadio.com, the only choice for the South Florida sports fan.
Now that it's springtime, it's only getting hotter here in South Florida. Make sure your AC in your home or business is running smoothly by investing in a preventative maintenance plan from M&S Air Conditioning. And M&S is a Mitsubishi Diamond Elite contractor. When you purchase a new Mitsubishi electric mini split system, you'll get a 12-year warranty. Or install a high-efficiency polarized air filter in your AC unit that captures and destroys biological contaminants to improve air quality. M&S Air Conditioning have been providing prompt, honest, and reliable service for over 30 years. Schedule service or call to get more info on our preventative maintenance plans. Call 954-421-3680 or visit ac-florida.com.
There are those who dedicate themselves to a sense of honor, to a life of courage, and a commitment to something greater than themselves. They have always defended this nation and each other. They still do. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Keeping you informed in the world of sports. With an OnsideRadio.com sports update.
The Miami Heat secured no less than the 6th seed in this year's NBA playoffs in the Eastern Conference after a win last night against the Boston Celtics 129-121. Jimmy Butler missed the second half, getting poked in the eye, but Tyler Hero stepped up, scoring 24 points, and Bam and Duncan Robinson added 22 of their own. Next up for the Heat is a home game against the Philadelphia 76ers tomorrow night. The Arizona Diamondbacks took Game 2 of their 4-game series against the Miami Marlins with a score of 11-3. The teams are back at it tonight for Game 3 at 9:40 for your first pitch. Tonight, right here at Dry Pink Stadium and right here at OnsideRadio.com, your Inter Miami CF takes on CF Montreal. The soccer action gets started with a special Red Card Radio with Austin Robillard at 6, and then Big O and Alex Donno will have the Onside Radio pregame show at 6:30. Chris Whittingham, Thomas Brogdon, and Friano Frioti will have the call of the game at 7:30. You're listening to South Florida's only locally owned sports talk station. Coming up is more Man of the Match with Alex Donno right here at OnsideRadio.com.
Inter Miami CF, your official furniture and mattress store, is here. City Furniture is your #1 home source for the trends you want at the prices you'll love, including exclusive City Furniture collections, the widest selection of styles, affordable home accents, mattresses starting at just $99 and more. Create the home of your dreams fast with next-day delivery, plus get 60 months special financing with no down payment. Because City Furniture is here to make it easy so everyone can live life like this, visit cityfurniture.com.
Riddle me this. With all this sizzling meat and crunchy veggies nestled between toasty flatbread, who should get credit for Papa John's new papadilla? The person who invented pizza or the person who invented folding? Well, whoever it is, a tip of the tongue hat to you, sir or madam. Get a new papadilla, 4 flavors, just $6 each. Better ingredients, better pizza, better than a sandwich. Papa John's.
My daughter Brinley is here at St. Jude. Coming here was literally life or death, and it was so scary. But St. Jude is fighting for one goal, like this one mission, life. And that gave us hope. We haven't received a single bill from St. Jude, so I really can just focus on what's best for Brinley.
Finding cures, saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
Onside Radio, the only choice for the South Florida sports fan. Welcome back to the Man of the Match with Alex Donno. You can reach out anytime on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623.
Yeah, our next guest is not only a former Florida Panthers player, you know him as the Blonde Bomber. He's also a Florida Panthers radio analyst and an analyst on NHL Network, so nobody keeps a closer eye on the game of hockey than our next guest, Bill Lindsay. Bill, thank you so much for coming on. How you been, man?
Good, Alex. It's nice to talk to you. I miss seeing you down at the rink. It's been a while.
Absolutely, man. Same to you. In fact, I got to try and get in there for some of these playoff games coming up. I'm so excited. And Bill, for how many years have you and me and Doug and Kevin and the entire crew, we've been talking about really wanting to get a true honest-to-God rivalry with the Tampa Bay Lightning, and we knew that the only way to do that would be to get some meetings in the playoffs, and now here we are on the cusp of a playoff series. These teams have gotten to know each other obviously very well throughout the regular season, and the Florida Panthers have had some success against them in the regular season, but just how big is it for hockey in the state of Florida to get what should be a really competitive series between Florida and Tampa Bay?
Absolutely ginormous. 27 years in the making. It's taken a long time. When we were really good, when we started out as an expansion team, Tampa Bay wasn't good at all. And we really carried a lot of the games early on, and then Tampa Bay got good, and we went through a period where we struggled. And for both teams to be really good at the same time, not only like good, but some of the two of the top teams in the whole league, and they get a chance to meet in the playoffs. It couldn't get any better as far as the playoff series. The growth of hockey down here continues to expand. But for this Florida team, I was here in the early 90s, and I saw the market for it, and I saw how excited everybody got and the adrenaline that was running through the city. And this Panther team has the chance to kind of make that same impact and recharge everything here, because the season they had, this is the best Panther team that's ever been iced as far as talent and the group going forward and having a legitimate chance to win a Stanley Cup. And you got to go through the defending Stanley Cup champions right off the start, and they are your cross-state rivalries, the battle of the Sunshine State. It's all you could ask for in a first-round matchup. And you look around in the first-round matchups, it has to be one of the marquee series that everyone's going to have the eyes on.
Yeah, and you brought up, 1996, and of course you were a huge part of that team, and that was some of the most fun I've had as a sports fan in South Florida. And obviously this year has been different, Bill, having to manage through a pandemic and not having full capacity. I understand they're going to be opening it up to 50% during the playoffs, which is great. I mean, we're getting a lot closer. I mean, how big is it going to be for the Panthers and for the Lightning to have some more fans in the stands than we've had during the regular season?
Critically important, because the Panther fans could have it. Just having the Panthers right off the gate have 5,000 people in the building helped them because there was still an energy and a buzz, and felt someone like there was a game going on. Talked to other players around the league and other players that were coming down here to play. They couldn't wait to get to South Florida to play games because there was going to be people in the stands, even though it was only 5,000 people. They just did not like playing in front of nobody at all. There was at least an atmosphere down here. And the Panthers enjoyed it, and they had some home ice success. And even the 5,000 in the last 10, 15 home games, when it's getting really exciting, it was loud in there for whatever they could generate. And the players on the ice can feel that. So you add an extra 5,000 to it, the Panthers get home ice advantage. It's something to pay attention to because there's going to be some electricity in the building. And the Panthers fans will feel it. And I know as a player, when you go out there and you start to feel that buzz, and it's the playoffs. And two, when you go from 5,000 to 10,000, it starts to feel even more real. So the players are going to enjoy it, and everyone that can get in the building is going to enjoy some of the best hockey that you'll ever watch.
So, Bill, the game plan for the Panthers at goaltender, is it going to be kind of a Bob no matter what thing, or could there be a bit of a rotation between Bob and Drieger? What are you expecting?
Bobrovsky's going to get the start, and he's going to be able to get a chance to prove himself. He did have the sweep of Columbus when Columbus swept Tampa Bay a couple of years ago. So he knows how to elevate his game at the right time. So he gets a chance, but the leash might not be that long on him because of the success of Drieger. If he has a couple of bad games or even a bad game in game one, I don't think Quenneville has any hesitation going to Drieger. So there's possibility. Even if they go past the first round, I believe that you see both goaltenders, but Bobrovsky's going to be the main guy, and we'll see how far he can take it and run with it. And see, he's got something to prove with a couple of average years here in South Florida, some ups and downs, big contracts. He can rectify all that if he has a big-time playoff performance and is able to carry this team. So we'll see what happens, but he'll get the start out of the gate. But it's going to depend on how he plays because they have a lot of confidence in Chris Drieger.
Bill Lindsay joins us here on Onside Radio, getting set for Florida Panthers, Tampa Bay Lightning, round one in the postseason. Reportedly, it's going to get started on Sunday. So, Bill, the Panther. We talk about goaltending. Conversely, the Panthers have had a lot of success this year against Andrei Vasilevsky. I mean, he's been, and in years past, he's been great against the Panthers. But this year, if you only watched him going up against the Panthers, you wouldn't realize what a good goalie he is. Like, is there something about the angles the Panthers shoot from, the speed of their players that gives Vasilevsky especially problems, or is this just sort of been just a good run of form and you can't really explain it outside of that?
Vasilevsky is a good goaltender. The weakness that's been exposed is his blocker side, and it got exposed the last couple of games that you saw just clean mano-a-mano shots that the Panthers were able to beat Vasilevsky to that blocker side, which is unusual. So you'll have to pay attention to that once they get started in the playoffs. He's an elite goaltender, one of the best in the business, and he's won the Vezina Trophy last year for a reason, might win it again this year. Kenny turned it around, but this Panther team does have his number, and they watch game film, and they watch areas that they can score on him. So they have the confidence that they can get to him, and that's something John Cooper and the Tampa Bay Lightning are high alert with this Florida team going into this series.
Yeah.
They know that they're going to have their hands full with everything. So Vasilevsky, yes, they've been able to get to him. Can Vasilevsky really turn it up a notch? Yes. And the Tampa Bay team that you're going to see in the playoffs is a little bit different. Same thing with the Panthers, but the Tampa Bay team is going to be a little bit different than we saw the last two regular season games. And they're going to get one of the best players in the business back as they were able to get around some salary cap situations. Nikita Kucherov, who's a top 5 player in the NHL, won the MVP, is going to be back and available for the playoffs. So that's a different thing that the Panthers haven't dealt with all season that they're going to have to deal with in the playoffs.
And you could speak on this from experience, having played the game in the regular season and in the playoffs, just how much because I can see it as a fan, but you've actually skated through it. Like, how much does the intensity ramp up in the postseason?
It goes to a different level. The first playoff game that I played against Boston down here with Florida, I would compare it from going to the American Hockey League, the minors, to the NHL. It was that much of a difference in the change of speed and intensity. my first shift was 30 seconds, and it was flying. I could not believe how fast the hockey was. It was going to be like this. It did just like everything else. You adjust to it, and it becomes you get used to the speed because you're in the NHL. But the first game, it was crazy quick. Everyone's on their toes. Everyone's playing their best hockey, and it goes up and it continues for every shift. Everyone finishes their hits. Stuff that you don't see in the regular season is constant in the playoffs as far as hitting, battling in the corners, trying to get to the front of the net. It goes to a whole nother level. It's a hard trophy to win. You got to go through the war of attrition. You got to block shots, and you got to pay a heavy price. But yeah, the level and the speed change, it's hard to really explain. But when you watch it, I call the regular season is the regular season, but the playoffs are the real season.
Yeah.
And that's what you get. That's what, Alex, that's why you play hockey. And you have one dream once you get in the NHL, because your dream is to get in the NHL. But once you become established, the only other thing you want is to win the Stanley Cup. And that's my biggest regret when I walked away from hockey, is not having my name on the trophy. So it's a dream everyone wants and chase, and the Panthers have a reality at it.
Yeah, this is such a different year because the divisional teams were just going head-to-head all year. So I feel like I'm an expert on the Discover Central Division, but maybe not enough on the rest of the league. I know Vegas has been great this year. Like outside of the Central, who are the teams to beat in the NHL, and who could have deep playoff runs this year?
Vegas and Colorado are legit. Carolina in this division. Tampa Bay, us, that's 5. In the North, I would only consider Toronto out of the North to be a true contender. And the 4 teams in the East, Boston, the New York Rangers, Pittsburgh, and Washington, those teams in the East. If you told me to pick a winner of that East division, it's a coin toss. But the way the playoffs are set up, Alex, is they're going to, in the first and second round, the playoff matchups are going to be out of this world, because Colorado and Vegas have to meet in the first 2 rounds.
Wow.
Those Eastern teams have to play each other, and only one team comes out of the East. So you go through the divisions, and Toronto maybe looks like it has the easiest road to get to the semifinals, but the first and second round playoff matchups, because of the seedings and the way the divisions are going to be the hardest. This is the hardest road that you'll ever have to the Stanley Cup, because if you just take our division, for example, if the Panthers do get by Tampa Bay, they have to go against Carolina, which is close to winning the President's Trophy as the top team in the league. And then you're in the semifinals playing a Colorado or Vegas team or something like that. So this road this year and the playoff series, incredibly, incredibly tough.
Yeah, really well said here. And you want to make sure you follow Bill on Twitter at Lindsay B. Hockey. Check him out, radio analyst for the Florida Panthers. He does a fantastic job, and on NHL Network as well does an awesome job. Bill, I cannot thank you enough for the time, and I know you, me, and the rest of the Panthers fans out there will be chomping at the bit for this 7-game series coming up with Tampa Bay. Enjoy every second of it, my friend.
Yeah, thanks, Alex. This is really a dream series for everyone down here in South Florida. So just pay attention to it and come. And hopefully we get the buzz, and would love to see us. Wouldn't it be fun to knock off Goliath in the first round, defending Stanley Cup champions? That would go a long way for this franchise. So we'll see if we can make it happen, Alex. Appreciate it.
Well, I know Bobrovsky knows how to do that because he did it a couple of years ago. So we'll see.
Yes, he did.
I love it. Have a great one, Bill.
Appreciate it, Alex. All the best, my friend.
All the best. What a good dude. Bill Lindsay, awesome job. And yeah, like I said to him, of course, he and that 96 Panthers squad, some of the best memories I've had as a sports fan. That was incredible. I feel like I've been talking a lot about it this week, growing up on the Mighty Ducks movies, and then the Florida Panthers franchise was launched. A couple years later, they're in the Stanley Cup Finals. By the way, our commenters on YouTube totally predicted it. So I just like during the Lindsay interview, I was presented a huge shout out to Alex Aguirre and Sean Stanley, who gave me this update. Oh, it's Kai? Oh, Kai. See, wow. So I love how Sean showed me the update and took all the credit for it, but he is giving Kai the credit now. He is giving Kai the credit. So We're going to talk about this on the other side. This is breaking news from the past few minutes. Although, I don't know why they consider it breaking news today because I reported this like 3 weeks ago. Victor Oladipo's season is done. I've been telling you guys, he's going to have surgery on his quad. Is that what they said? Oh, this is a little suspicious because I thought he had a knee injury. Are we giving this guy unnecessary surgery now? Like he's going under the give me the details on this, Sean.
It says Heat guard Victor Oladipo will undergo season-ending surgery on his right quadriceps tendon.
Wow. I mean, listen, no surprise. They'll probably end up bringing him back next year, and he'll miss like 75 out of 82 games. It's ridiculous. So yeah, for the YouTuber who said I'm gonna rip Oladipo next, you bet your ass I will. You're listening to Onside Radio. Hey, over the last 30-plus years, South Florida fans have always been able to count on one radio show that gives you the brutal honesty you need. Orlando Alzagari in the Onside Zone, daily from noon to 3 p.m., exclusively at OnsideRadio.com.
We'll be right back to the Man of the Match with Alex Donno. You can join us on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623.
Join the Inter Miami family in 2021 by becoming a 2021 season ticket member. Enjoy enhanced access benefits and pricing not available to general fans. Visit intermiamicf.com/tickets for more information.
Hey Panthers fans, Dave Dwart here with some awesome news. Every Saturday, I'm going to bring you the latest on everything to do with the Florida Panthers with Chirping the Cats Radio. Saturday mornings from 10 to 11 a.m., we'll dive into the state of the team, recap games, and hear from past and present Panthers players, and plenty of other great hockey guests too. Got questions about the Panthers? Call or text the show and we'll break it down. Don't miss Chirping the Cats Radio, Saturday mornings from 10 to 11 a.m., only on OnsideRadio.com.
You're listening to OnsideRadio.com. Catch up anytime by downloading the MyTuner Radio app. OnsideRadio.com, South Florida's true hometown station.
Inter Miami CF, your official furniture and mattress store, is here. City Furniture is your #1 home source for the trends you want at the prices you'll love, including exclusive City Furniture collections, the widest selection of styles, affordable home accents, mattresses starting at just $99 and more. Create the home of your dreams fast with next-day delivery, plus get 60 months special financing with no down payment. Because City Furniture is here to make it easy so everyone can live life like this, visit cityfurniture.com.
If you missed Onside Zone with Big O, you missed.
She's kind of young, so I don't know. She may not be into Van Halen much. Let's see. Hey, Ruthie, good afternoon. Are you a Van Halen fan?
You know, I just had to Google Van Halen. I'm not going to lie to you. I just literally have it on my computer right now.
The Onside Zone with Big O. Weekdays 11 to 1 p.m. Only on OnsideRadio.com. You're listening to this station with more live and local sports talk than anyone else in South Florida. OnsideRadio.com. Broadcasting from South Florida to the world.
Can I get a captain?
Captain and what?
Captain and Ginger.
I can't hear you.
Captain and Ginger.
He was a captain and ginger. Captain and ginger. He was a captain and ginger.
Captain Morgan, official partner of Major League Soccer.
Welcome back to the Man of the Match with Alex Donno. You can reach out anytime on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623.
So huge thanks to Bill Lindsay for joining us, talking some Panthers. We got some breaking Heat news. Ira Winderman reported it. I had it like 3 weeks before Ira had it, though. Victor Oladipo's season is over. Quad surgery tomorrow. So I didn't even let me ask you, Alex, did we even know that the issue was with his quad? Like I thought it was his. Is it the part of the quad that's, because the quad is it's a large muscle. I'm actually looking at my quad right now. I'm using myself as like one of those like anatomical dummies that they have like in anatomy class back in high school, and I can see like the quad starts right above the knee. So was it possible Oladipo was confused when he thought his knee was injured and it was actually his quad. Can I confirm that that's what happened? There was some confusion over the part of the leg that was injured.
I'm just shocked that it took 3.5 weeks, like 3 weeks to get a second opinion on your quad.
Yeah, how many doctors? Like, he's like, and I think it's kind of like what Chris Bosh did, and I don't really blame him. But
that's a different issue, though.
That was a different
issue.
That's
life-threatening. You
True.
know, we're ragging on this guy to play for the team.
Yeah, it's a good point because nobody has ever died from a quad injury.
Yeah,
ever. Blood clots, yes. Quad, no.
You know, I'm just more shocked of how long this news took. I know the Heat are very hush hush.
Yeah.
And very, enclosed with the type of information they give out to the public and the media, especially dealing with injuries. But, maybe this is uncharted territory for Heat fans as well. We really haven't encountered a star player or an all-star caliber player in this type of injury scenario, and to my memory, because I don't remember any Heat players holding out.
No. You're right, though. The Heat are great at keeping secrets. I still don't know exactly what happened to Gerald Green. Reports of the Flocka, like when he
no clue still.
No clue. No idea. Hey, they keep everything a secret.
Still one of my favorite Heat teams.
Yeah.
That 15-16 team, very underrated.
Yeah, very under. I mean, you're obviously very young to say that was one of your favorite Heat teams, because I can think of some in the '90s, like when you were like barely a thought at that point. But yeah, listen, I understand the 15-16 Heat team was all right. I thought that the 02-03 Heat team, or was it 03?
Wade's rookie season?
Yeah, 03-04,
yeah,
I think it was Wade's rookie season. That was a really, really fun team with
Second
Lamar
round.
Odom and Caron Butler and Dwayne Wade. And yeah, they knocked out Charlotte in the first round. They lost to Indiana in the second round, and they had a tough 6-game series because Indiana was supposed to wipe the floor with them. That was a really good team at that point, so they did really well there. So Victor Oladipo definitely done for the year. Some speculation that the Heat would actually explore a long-term deal with him, or like at least like a short-term show-me deal to actually bring him back. I don't know, man. I don't know if I'm interested. I mean, I guess it does validate. I've been talking trash about Oladipo for weeks. I feel kind of bad about it now because he has an actual issue, right? I mean, how many times on this show? Am I going to get canceled now? Is that going to be a thing? How many times on this show have I accused Oladipo of skipping games for an imaginary injury? And I don't know. Like, I what country is he having the surgery in? That could tell. If he's going down to like Costa Rica to have the surgery, it might not be legit. But usually American doctors don't give out unnecessary surgeries. So I'm guessing this is something he actually needs. Like, if he was getting this done in certain parts of Central America. I remember watching a documentary. No, it wasn't a documentary. It was a horror movie called Turistas that came out in the early 2000s. And these, these like college students, these backpackers, they go down. I think they were in Brazil, which is not Central America. I know my geography. They were down vacationing in Brazil, and they were at this like wild party, and someone drugged them, and then they wake up and like their kidneys are gone and like their organs are being sold. So they, in certain parts of the world, they will perform unnecessary surgeries. I don't think that's what Oladipo's done. I'm assuming he's getting it from an actual medical doctor. In New York, he's getting the surgery? Oh my, that's like the medical capital of the world. Some of the best doctors ever in New York. All right, I guess it's legit. I guess he's actually injured. Can you do me a favor, Alex, and erase my last 3 weeks of podcasts? Because otherwise people are going to go back and listen and they're going to cancel me after how much crap I've given Oladipo. I mean, okay, so maybe he's not a faker, but he is injury prone. So I don't want this guy on my Heat long term. Marla writes in on the text line, Oladipo may have sustained the quad injury prior to the trade, hid the injury from the Heat by playing a few minutes in 2 or 3 games, and then ran for the hills. I like the way you think. Kenneth Cleveland says, we will move the Boom Boom Room board meeting for after the game tonight. Oh, that's perfect. We'll head on out to the Boom. Can you send me a car, Kenneth? Can you send me, I feel like stretch limos are like super 2006. Send me, so just send me a town car. Like, send me like a tasteful Lincoln Town Car with a driver, make sure he's wearing a hat. Like if he's not wearing the little hat that the drivers wear, I'm not going to feel like it's legitimate. Make sure the driver's wearing a hat and have him drive me to the Boom Boom Room around. We're probably going to be finished with post-game, I think, around 10:30 tonight. So I'll head over to the Boom Boom Room after that. All right, we'll get the 5 o'clock hour officially underway. A couple of team updates on the Miami Dolphins. And this is pretty interesting. I want to go through this exercise myself because I was reading DolphinsWire.com this morning, and our friend Kyle Krabs, he wrote about the games this year that are going to be the biggest measuring stick games for the Miami Dolphins this season. And I tend to co-sign his thought process here for the most part. I may add one or two in there. So keep it locked right here to Onside Radio. Hey, every Saturday at 11 a.m., soccer fans can connect with Austin Robillard and Red Card Radio. From the Premiership to the MLS, catch up with your favorite team, including our very own Inter Miami CF. Listen to Red Card Radio every Saturday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. with Austin Robillard exclusively at OnsideRadio.com.
We'll be right back to the Man of the Match with Alex Donno. You can join us on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623. You're listening to OnsideRadio.com. Catch up anytime by downloading the Radio.net app. OnsideRadio.com, South Florida's true hometown station.
Hey, it's Toast. Last year when I had PGT custom windows and doors installed in my house by B&T Windows and Doors, I knew about the hurricane protection. What I didn't know? The silence. Oh my goodness, my house is so quiet now. One of those cars goes tearing down the street with the crazy loud muffler. Yeah, I don't hear it anymore. It's unbelievable. I didn't realize how noisy my house was beforehand. You've got to get PGT custom windows and doors installed in your pad today. Call B&T Windows and Doors, 954-233-0126. That's 954-233-0126.
Miami Dolphins fans can always count on the best coverage at OnsideRadio.com. Every week, keep up with your favorite team as Dolphins writer Omar Kelly joins us with exclusive reports. And when news breaks, catch the EJDConstruction.com Miami Dolphins report on the home for Dolphins fans everywhere, OnsideRadio.com. You're listening to the flagship station of Inter Miami CF, OnsideRadio.com. Follow us on social media at Onside Radio. Welcome back to the Man of the Match with Alex Donno.
It's all yours. Just keep it right here.
You can reach out anytime on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623.
Yeah, 5 o'clock hour of Man of the Match here on Onside Radio. We take you up until 6 o'clock tonight. Normally I sign off at 6 o'clock, and I mean, technically I'll be doing that, but I'll be handing it off to Austin Robillard, who's got a special half-hour edition of Red Card Radio from 6 until 6:30, because we're staying on through the night, my friends. Hopefully we got some Inter Miami CF fans, some soccer fans jumping aboard, either listening to us at OnsideRadio.com or one of our free mobile apps where you can get the show. I was listening all the way up to the station today on the Radio FM app. You know, a hot tip for those who may not be technologically inclined. You can, if you have Bluetooth in your car, you connect your smartphone through Bluetooth. You can play the station through the speakers. And it sounds crystal clear, man. Like, it really, really sounds good. Like, if you compare that to the way that, like, AM radio sounds, the audio quality, it's different galaxies. Like, it's not even crystal clear sound versus static. So it's not even near the same thing, man. So much better. So if you want to, you can also watch us on YouTube, by the way. You could stream us live on YouTube. And when you're in the YouTube, make sure you smash the like button. Hit the thumbs up button. That maximizes our algorithm. It's going to put us in more people's home pages. You guys, there may be a lot of people out there, big-time Dolphin fans, big-time Inter Miami fans, Heat fans, Panthers fans. They may not know what we're doing here at Onside Radio, and then the magic of the YouTube algorithm will mean our videos pop onto their page. They'll realize, holy crap, these guys they're putting the work in at Onside Radio. So make sure you smash that like button, and make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel if you haven't already. So it looks like Miami Dolphins players apparently are considering doing on-field workouts during OTAs. they probably don't want to get Juwan'd. Remember what happened to Juwan James? Got injured working out on his own, and then the Denver Broncos were not, liable, to pay him because he got injured off the field. Because that's the problem, man. And it's like, we need unions. There's no question. I'm not anti-union guy. But you have to understand, unions are not some magical altruistic thing where all that they care about is the best interest of their players, because the unions do care about themselves and their own pride. And in this case, I strongly feel that the NFLPA are using their players, they're using their clients, to try and strong-arm the NFL into renegotiating the CBA that they agreed to, because they don't like the CBA that they signed, that their players ratified, and they want a do-over, and they're trying to use their leverage. They're telling the NFL, oh, by the way, we don't think our guys are safe from COVID. If they go to facilities and work out, they're going to get sick or they're going to get injured. We did virtual OTAs last year, and it worked out pretty well. We're going to do that again. Here's the problem. If you're not working out at the team facility, you have to be working out somewhere. Right? This is not 1965 where maybe NFL players were selling cars in the offseason and they weren't keeping themselves in optimal shape all year long. The bottom line is, in today's NFL, you've got to be putting in your workouts somewhere, and you're probably not going to be isolated literally by yourself working out. So if you're not working out at the team facility because you claim it's unsafe, are you working out at a gym somewhere else with other people that aren't covered by your team? Or are you, God forbid, you go to like a public gym, like you're at a 24-hour fitness or something? Who the hell knows what kind of germs are coming into a place like that? So, honestly, I feel like the NFLPA were using their players for leverage, encouraging them not to show up for in-person workouts, to stick it to the NFL. When the NFL last year... And the pandemic was tougher to manage last year because we didn't know as much about it, and we didn't have any vaccines last year. So it was very tough to navigate. And yet, still, during the season, NFL teams and facilities did a pretty goddamn good job proving that they could create safe working environments. And I think they could do that even better in these off-season workouts. And if you don't show up to workouts at your team facility, you got to be working out somewhere else because you have to be in shape, and you could be at even more risk if you're working out away from the team. And guess what? If you get hurt like Juwan James did, the team can then cut you no questions asked because they're not on the hook for you anymore. So, yeah, Dolphins players seeing so this is a report from Barry Jackson of the Miami Herald. A Dolphins player confirmed an NFL Network report that Dolphins players have discussed the matter and are receptive to participating in the on-field component of the offseason program in exchange for shorter workdays and a walkthrough tempo during May and June practices, which is fine. You don't have to be killing each other at OTAs, right? But you do want your strength coaches and your position coaches to be around these players for hands-on workouts. If you don't want it to be as grueling and risky as it was in years past, okay, you can negotiate through that. The NFL Network report by Tom Pelissero implied that an agreement has been reached with Dolphins coaches and players to execute that plan, though one Dolphins player said he hasn't been told a final decision on the matter. That's from Barry Jackson. There are several weekends, Kyle Krabs writes, of on-field workouts coming up for the Dolphins over the next month and a half, like May 24th through May 26th, then June 1st through June 3rd, June 7th through 8th, and June 10th. The Dolphins also have rookie minicamp this upcoming weekend, a chance to get the team's young additions into the fray and acclimate with the team's facilities ahead of the summer months when everyone must be ready to hit the ground running. So we could actually see in-person workouts for the Dolphins. At Dolphins Wire, Kyle Krabs had a compelling piece. He says these will be the biggest measuring stick games for the Dolphins this coming season. He chose 3 of them. And these are all good. I think I'm just going to add one to the mix, though. But he chooses, and the reasons here are obvious, and yet they're well thought out. You got the Baltimore Ravens on the schedule this year. The last time the Dolphins played the Ravens was 2019. Miami lost by 49 points. Not good. The time before that, 2017, they lost by 40 points. And the time before that, Miami lost to Baltimore by 32 points in 2016. So they have outscored the Dolphins by a combined 89 plus 32, 99, 109, 119, 121 points. I just did that math live in my head. It's incredible. 120, I already forgot. 121 points, I think. 121 points. Dolphins have been outscored by the Baltimore Ravens in the last 3 meetings. So you talk about a show-me game, a measuring stick game. Yeah, that's a really good one. The next is obvious, and you could technically say 2 games here because you meet this team twice, the Buffalo Bills. Speaking of teams with success against Miami recently, the Bills have won the last 5 games against the Dolphins and 7 of the last 8. That lone win, I remember this one well. It was at the stadium. A 21-17 win in 2018 that came only because then rookie Josh Allen hung a game-winning touchdown pass to Charles Clay short in the end zone in the final moments, and Clay was wide open. It's so hard to believe that the same Josh Allen that was making plays like that in 2018 is now the Josh Allen of today, who's one of the best in the league. Like I always thought you can't teach accuracy. He was an inaccurate quarterback when he came into the league. I mean, he really very athletic. We could see that. Could run, could make plays, could buy time in the pocket, get out of the pocket, but he couldn't connect on throws, couldn't connect on mid-range deep balls back then, but he's gotten so much better. It's crazy. Says the Bills are going to be the team Miami has to make personnel decisions with in the back of their minds. This is a team that went 13-3 last year and has owned Miami. You're not consistently making the playoffs or dreaming of a home game in the postseason unless you find a way to close the gap and play more competitive against the Bills. Then the third team he puts out there is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. As Ric Flair once said, to be the man, you got to beat the man. Reminds me of the Squared Circle Digest promo. And I'm the man. Says for the Dolphins in 2021, it affords them a matchup with the man for the second consecutive season because they went up against Kansas City last year, who were defending Super Bowl champions, and they went toe to toe with KC. It was a loss, but I called it a moral victory, and I'll stand by that. This time around, Miami must travel to Raymond James Stadium to face the defending Super Bowl champions. Doesn't get any bigger than that. Measuring stick game. Maybe you wouldn't call it that so much because this opponent was not great last year, but I think they're going to be better this season, at least a little bit better. Miami week 1 against New England, at New England. I'm going to call that a measuring stick game. You know, they failed in that spot week 1. They did get their revenge against the Patriots in the return matchup, but they failed in New England week 1 last year. Maybe you could argue that this is a bigger measuring stick game for New England than it is Miami, because for the Patriots coming off of 7-9, that's a really tough blow to Belichick's ego. Belichick for 20 years, they were a finely tuned machine with Tom Brady at quarterback and Belichick at coach. Then Brady leaves. They took a big step back. So you could probably look at it from the reverse standpoint. They're hosting the Dolphins week 1. They're trying to get off on the right foot. It's probably a bigger measuring stick game for New England than Miami, but I would still say for the Dolphins. I mean, a divisional opponent, you want to show that you're still on top of them in the pecking order. Show us that last year, the changing of the guard that we saw in the AFC East, where Buffalo is clearly the class now of the division, but the Dolphins took a big step forward while New England took a step back. Like, show us you're still no worse Miami than number 2 in that pecking order. So I think that's going to be really important. Not to mention, just as a fan, bro, I want to see what Jalen Waddle can do week 1. I mean, that's the first time he lines up for a regular season game. It's going to be electric, right? How's Tua going to look with all those new weapons? How much are we going to see Javon Holland? There's a lot for me. First game of the year, especially when it's against a bitter division rival. I think that's a gigantic measuring stick. So I would throw that one in there with the other games that he mentioned being measuring stick games. 844-416-8123 is how you get at us on the text line. That's 844-416-8123. You want to talk about big games this year? Tom Brady goes back to Foxborough. I think I saw October 3rd. I thought I saw being the date for that. So mark it on your calendars. Tommy Brady goes back to Foxborough. I would love to see Brady clown the Patriots. Not that I was in love with Brady or Belichick during their 2 decades of dominance, but I always hated Brady less than I hated Bill. I respected Brady more than I respected Belichick. You know, so Brady just putting like a 50 burger on New England, October 3rd in Foxborough would be great. That's going to be an amazing reception there. You know, oftentimes we have these conversations like a great former player returns to stadium or an arena for the first time since he left his former club. Like, you know, what sort of a reception was LeBron going to get the first time he came back to the AAA? Mario Chalmers, his first reception back at the American Airlines Arena. We discussed whether or not those players should be booed. You know, Tom Brady, if you're a Patriots fan, you give him the godlike reception that he deserves, right? Full stadium, more than likely, or close to it. I would think they'll be able to have a full stadium there by October. I know every state does it a little bit differently. I think even Massachusetts would probably be pretty open by then, I would think. So they're probably going to have a full stadium there. And if there is I don't know how many people fit in Gillette Stadium. I'm going to say, like, for argument's sake, 65,000. If there is a single Patriots fan of those 65,000 that doesn't blow out a lung cheering for Tom Brady, you're a terrible fan and an even worse human being. You owe that guy such a gigantic debt of gratitude. I mean, 6 Super Bowl championships. And, you know, if you're delusional enough to think that Belichick would have gotten all those without Brady, I've got a bridge to sell you. It's the big, beautiful one in Brooklyn, okay? So I hope every Pats fan cheers at the top of their lungs when he shows up there for the first time. We roll on in the 5 o'clock hour. We take you up until 6 o'clock tonight. Going to have our guy Austin Robillard in for Crosstalk around 5:50, and then he's going to have a special weekday edition of Red Card Radio from 6 until 6:30 coming up tonight. Hey, Heat and NBA fans, catch Ira Winderman here exclusively at OnsideRadio.com with our accurate Pembroke Pines Miami Heat reports. Catch Ira throughout the week at OnsideRadio.com and when news breaks. Basketball fans know Onside Radio is the place you get the insight you need.
We'll be right back to the Man of the Match with Alex Donno. You can join us on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623. You can now watch Onside Radio daily by subscribing to our YouTube and Twitch channels. Search Onside Radio. Log on, subscribe, rate, and review Onside Radio on YouTube and Twitch. Find out why Big O has a face for radio. OnsideRadio.com, South Florida's home for real sports talk.
If you're looking for a change from the everyday restaurant, then you need to get to Checkers Old Munchin German Restaurant in Pompano Beach. Brats, Wiener Schnitzel, homemade potato pancakes, pretzels with mustard, and lots of German beer. Take their famous Boot Tour Challenge, and there's now outdoor seating available in their new beer garden with live music. Follow them on Facebook and Instagram at Checkers Old Munchin Restaurant or call them for reservations or pickup at 954-785-7565. So get over to 2209 East Atlantic Boulevard in Pompano Beach to Zagat-rated Checkers Old Munchin German Restaurant.
Inter Miami CF, your official furniture and mattress store, is here. City Furniture is your #1 home source for the trends you want at the prices you'll love, including exclusive City Furniture collections, the widest selection of styles, affordable home accents, mattresses starting at just $99 and more. Create the home of your dreams fast with next-day delivery, plus get 60 months special financing with no down payment. Because City Furniture is here to make it easy so everyone can live life like this, visit cityfurniture.com.
I'm Ryan Seacrest. First responders are people who stand for a greater purpose. They will be there for you when nobody else is, to help you, your family, your community. This is their selfless promise. This is their sworn duty, to protect, to serve, to help. They put themselves in harm's way for us. They come to the rescue at times when we need them most. First responders are making enormous personal sacrifices to keep showing up for us and fighting the good fight. Nearly 70% of all firefighters are volunteers. That means when they get injured or quarantined, they may not have a way to pay their rent or keep their family safe and fed. No matter who you are or where you live, when you call 911 and ask for help, first responders show up. Now, let's show up for the people who show up for us every day and every night.
Go to firstrcf.org and make a difference today.
You're listening to this station with more live and local sports talk than anyone else in South Florida. OnSideRadio.com. Broadcasting from South Florida to the world. You're listening to OnSideRadio.com. Catch up anytime by downloading the MyTuner Radio app. OnSideRadio.com. South Florida's true hometown station. Welcome back to the Man of the Match with Alex Donno. Check this out. You can reach out anytime on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623.
Got a food exercise I want to do in a couple minutes, and I want Alex Aguirre to participate with me. A fun thing, I saw our listener Marla retweeted this. I want to go through this for my own. But before we get to that, this is interesting. Rich Eisen, he thinks Deshaun Watson is going to play at some point in 2021. He says, quote, "I think it's quiet now for a reason. You don't hear a word from a lawyer, Tony Busby, who was on Instagram like he was a 16-year-old sophomore," Eisen said. But you know what? Listen, like, you could rip Busby for being very brash and all over social media, but at the same time, like, you know, he's representing clients that made very serious allegations, and I think his approach ultimately worked, right? So it's one thing just to bash this guy for being all over Instagram, but I think it's, at the end of the day, his approach was effective, okay? Like, yeah, early in the process, I referred to Busby as Saul Goodman because, you know, I really did think he looked like a bit of a sideshow, but I think that he approaches the way he approaches these high-profile cases for a reason. Eisen continued, "Every single thing was going on Instagram," he said, "but you don't hear a word from him right now, do you? Why?" He said, "Anybody who knows the legal system knows that means something's being discussed and you don't want to upset it. You could say settling doesn't remove anything with Deshaun Watson. That's correct. He could still get suspended, but not for the entirety of the 2021 season," he says. So I guess he's expecting that, like, if Watson were to settle all the cases, like, within the next couple weeks, that the NFL then would not be able to suspend him for the entire year. They might suspend him for half of the year because there is precedent for that. Antonio Brown was suspended 8 weeks to start the 2020 season after he faced sexual assault allegations, so Watson could face a similar penalty. His suspension might also be longer, given that more than 20 women have made similar claims against him. No kidding. That's why it's like you hear certain people talk about this, and they make it sound like just settling these cases is like a magic wand, and then it goes away. He becomes America's sweetheart again. I don't know, man. I mean, I know that NFL fans and front offices have overlooked a lot, because there are players who have come back after domestic abuse incidents and allegations and, you know, DUIs and drunk driving accidents and stuff. But, like, I also think that, you know, when you're comparing things that happened sometimes 15, 20, 30 years ago, we don't really live in the same world anymore. And you can't unsee or unremember, you know, the things that have been said about Deshaun Watson. Because for me, it's the clear volume of accusers, like the clear number of accusers, and also, you know, the way that this stuff went down. Because worst case scenario, he's a rapist and a criminal. That's the worst case scenario. The best case scenario is the guy's still an absolute creep, because he's, like, his lawyer admitted that he's had, you know, sex with multiple women that he hired to be massage therapists, which is just creepy as hell. I mean, you're a multi-millionaire, good-looking professional athlete. Like, I don't know what sort of depraved behavior is like that. That's what you need to do to create sexual conquest. So it's like, I don't know, man. I think there's a lot of baggage with this guy. No matter how he comes out of this legally, you know, even if he's able to, you know, pony up huge sums to pay these women off, and also, like, with more than 20 accusers, seems like there's a pretty decent chance that a couple of them or a few of them might say, like, no, like, I'm actually going to take this through the courts. Like, I don't know, like, just if it was like 2 or 3 women, then yeah, maybe you can pay off all of them. But with more than 20 women, it just, the law of averages would say there may be a couple of holdouts, and this is going to go through the courts. So, you know, sometimes you hear Eisen and others talk about this Deshaun Watson thing, like as soon as he settles it, it's just going to disappear into thin air. I don't know, man, because this one is so high profile and there are so many different accusers. I think this is going to stain him for the rest of his career. And yeah, there's going to be a handful of teams that are going to be willing to let him play. Like if he's able to play again for Houston, maybe they say, all right, bro, just get out there and then sling it. We've heard reports that the Philadelphia Eagles may still be interested in acquiring him. In Carolina, the other team that may be interested in acquiring him. So maybe they're morally bankrupt enough to say that, hey, like if this guy can play and we can get him at a discount, giddy up. But I don't know, man. It's going to be hard for me to support this dude unless and there's a road back. Like I remember, and I'm in no way am I comparing what they've been accused of, but you know, a lot of people said after Michael Vick's situation that, you know, there was no road back for him. He actually did his time in prison, paid his debt to society, and a lot of people forgave him after that. And again, two very different things that they've been accused of, but maybe there is a road back for Deshaun Watson as well. Wow, this is cool. So I saw this morning, Forbes has released their highest paid athletes list for this year. Conor McGregor on top again. So Conor McGregor, according to Forbes, this past year has earned a total of $180 million. My God. Now, most of it apparently comes from selling his the majority stake in his whiskey company, Propa Number 12. McGregor also made a total of $158 million outside of his fighting career, which includes his endorsement portfolio featuring DraftKings and Roots of Fighting, joining Tiger Woods and Roger Federer as the only athletes to clear $70 million out of their respective sports while still actively competing. McGregor also reportedly made $22 million in his second-round TKO loss to Dustin Poirier at UFC 257 in Abu Dhabi. The Notorious will get his chance at settling the score when he meets the former interim lightweight champion July 10th at T-Mobile Arena in Vegas, which reportedly sold out in minutes. The Irish superstar is the only combat sports athlete to make the list, which also includes, in order, Lionel Messi, who cleared $130 million this year, Cristiano Ronaldo, who cleared $120 million. That's $120 million down the freaking drain, if you ask me. LeBron James, $96.5 million. Tommy Brady at $76 million. And Kevin Durant at $75 million. Wow, who's overpaid out of that bunch? Does Kevin Durant make like $5 million per burner account on Twitter? Is that what this dude's getting paid that much money for?
What about the 100 I made on crypto?
Yeah. Where's Big O for his Polygon gains and the V-Chain? Well, you're not an athlete. If we're going through radio hosts and we're going through capital gains, Big O is on top of the list for the crypto, bro. That is pretty impressive, though, when you look at that. You know, and I can remember for so many years when we would get the Forbes lists, it always used to be Floyd Mayweather on top, right? I mean, Floyd is more or less retired now. He still turns up for the occasional, you know, freak show YouTube type of fight like he's doing now. But it was usually always Floyd Mayweather on top, and then you had Messi and Ronaldo. But, you know, this is at least the second time, maybe the third time, that Conor McGregor has actually topped the list of highest paid athletes according to Forbes. That's pretty neat. Like as a lifelong combat sports fan, because I started watching boxing when I was really little after the Rocky movies, but I've been an MMA fan for like 20 years, and just like to see the sport to have grown to the point where a UFC fighter, and I know that a lot of it is outside the octagon stuff, but he still had to get famous enough in the octagon to be able to be sellable outside of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, if not for the UFC, McGregor wouldn't be making all this money from whiskey and DraftKings and all that stuff. So it's pretty cool to see a UFC fighter on top of that list actually making more money, clearing more money in a year than people like Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo, LeBron James, Tom Brady. Tom Brady's underpaid, by the way. I mean, how is Tom Brady making $20 million less than LeBron and only $1 million more than Kevin Durant? Like it should be McGregor 1, Messi 2, Brady 3, Ronaldo 4. Because what has Ronaldo done for Juventus this year? I mean, they did win today, but I mean he's got them on the brink of missing out on Champions League, and they got eliminated in humiliating fashion in Champions League. Loser. LeBron, LeBron. I'll give LeBron. He's a worldwide. He's an icon. I may not support everything about LeBron because he humiliated Pat Riley, and I don't like the man for it. But yeah, I mean Brady. Come on, Brady should be higher paid than like half the guys on this list. It's crazy. It's absolutely nuts. Alex, do you want to go through a quick food exercise? This is called the picky eater test. You get 1 point for every item you would not eat. Kudos to our friend Marla. I saw her retweet this, and I wanted to go through it. So 1 point for every item you would not eat. Would you eat lettuce? That's a yes for me. Of course, I'd eat lettuce. I'm not a complete barbarian. Brussels sprouts, yes or no?
Yeah.
I love Brussels sprouts. Cucumber, yes or no?
Yes.
That's a yes for me as well. Eggs.
Yes.
Yes. Now, this one's a no for me. Liver. I don't like liver. I don't like the way it smells or tastes.
I mean, I've rarely had it, and I wasn't against it when I tried it, so I guess I'll just say yes for this matter, yeah.
Now, this one also is a no. I don't like these. Pickles, that's a no for me.
No, yeah, I take pickles out of my sandwiches.
Yeah, same here. Avocado, that's a yes for me.
Yes.
Oranges?
Yes.
Yeah, me too. Apples?
Yes.
Wheat bread? Yes.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, it's not I prefer white bread because
Yeah.
it's less healthy, so it tastes better. But I mean, I can eat wheat bread. It's fine.
Yeah, I don't mind.
No problem. Yogurt.
Yes.
Yes. I'm not a big fan of Greek yogurt. I think it's very overrated. But
I think it's overrated. It tastes good,
tastes
but overrated. And what about froyo?
Oh, I love froyo.
Same.
Especially when you get like the toppings bar and you're throwing like all like the brownie bites and stuff and the peanut butter. Oh my God. Ketchup.
Yeah, ketchup, of course.
Yeah, of course. I mean, it's again, I've made the case here that society is evolving beyond a need for plain ketchup, but I can still, of course, I'll eat it. Ranch dressing.
Yeah,
yes.
Ranch up.
Blue cheese.
I'm with Sean here.
No?
Not really, no.
Oh, blue cheese is so good.
I'm not a big cheese. I like cheese. I'm just big on cheese. I'm not big on cheese, just in general.
Blue cheese is a big yes for me. What about canned tuna? That's a no from me.
I
don't like canned tuna.
Yeah.
I don't. I like fresh tuna. I like raw tuna. I don't like canned tuna. I'm a snob.
I like tuna, period.
What about crab?
Yes.
Yes, it's a huge yes. Stone crab legs. Oh my God, so good. Grapes.
Yes. Yeah, grapes. Yeah.
Peanut butter. That's a yes from me.
Yes.
Pork. It's a
yeah.
Yes. Tofu. That's a no from me.
No,
it's disgusting.
I've never had tofu.
Oh, it's so. I mean, a lot of people like it. I think tofu. Like, if tofu was the only food left on the planet, I would gladly starve. We're good. Like, I don't want to live in a world where tofu is the only food left. Cabbage.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a yes for me as well. Zucchini. I like zucchini.
I don't mind zucchini.
Not a big fan, but I'll eat it.
Asparagus.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like it. Don't love it. I mean, we all notice it makes your pee smell bad, but whatever. I mean, tea. That's a yes for me.
Yeah.
Celery.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, celery doesn't really taste like anything.
Yeah,
You
and
gotta throw the peanut butter on it.
peanut butter.
Oh, celery,
some
peanut
ranch
butter.
on it. Yeah.
That's a good call. Eggplant. I love eggplant.
Never had eggplant.
Really?
I don't
Sean
think so.
Stanley and Alex Aguirre, neither of them have had eggplant.
I don't think so. Yeah.
Eggplant is it's in the zucchini family. It's kind of similar to zucchini. Yeah. So yeah, I think if you like zucchini, I think you'd like eggplant.
All right.
Peas.
Yeah.
It's a
Peas.
yes. Watermelon. It's a yes.
Yeah.
Pineapple. Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
Not on pizza. Not on pizza, but I like pineapple. No. Milk.
Yeah, milk. Yeah.
Yeah. It's got to be cow's milk. None of that vegan crap. Beets. Yeah. Not wild about it, but yeah. Mustard. It's a yes.
Mustard. Yeah.
Vinegar. I'm not gonna. Wow, there's more of these than I realized. We'll go through like 6 or 7 more of these, and we'll call it a day.
It's a long game.
there's like 30 more. I didn't realize how many there were here. Vinegar. That's a yes.
Yeah, sandwiches. Yeah.
Raw fish. I love sushi.
I love sushi.
It's a huge yes for me. This is another one that's a huge yes. Oysters.
Yes.
Yeah, Sean. Oysters are so freaking good. Shrimp.
Yep.
Sourdough bread. I think sourdough bread might be one of the highest forms of bread.
Is it above wheat in your opinion?
Yeah. Oh, way above wheat.
Yes. Yeah,
oh
okay.
my God. Like, you can keep your whole wheat bread if I can get some
Put
sourdough.
it in the back of the line. Yes. Yes.
This is a resounding yes for me. Nutella.
Oh yeah. What?
Sean? No?
Sean doesn't like Nutella.
No. Give me the real stuff or don't give me anything at all.
Nutella is the real stuff. Yes, it is. Oh, my God. I've lost all faith in Sean Stanley.
Listen, you can't grow Nutella.
Wow.
You can't grow Nutella.
Well, you can grow all the ingredients. Like, what does that mean? You can't grow a Big Mac. What the hell does that mean?
Big Macs come from the ground. What do you mean?
No, they don't. They come from the cow.
I love how Sean's argument against Nutella. You can't grow Nutella. Like, what the hell does that mean? Are you only eating plants like directly from the ground?
Nutella's fake chocolate.
It's not fake chocolate. It's the highest form of chocolate. Chocolate, hazelnut, chef's kiss. Oh my God, it's so good. By the way, speaking of food, I'm very proud of the state of Texas standing up against the sinful vegans. We'll explain what the great state of Texas is doing when we come back here on Onside Radio. Remember, we take you up into Devin in the chat says tofu is disgusting. Thank you. Oh, by the way, people in the chat are weighing in on some foods. I want to get to some of these on the other side. Plus, after reading what I read today, I might be moving to Texas because I'm so proud of that state. We'll get to that and more when we come back here on Onside Radio. Hey, Onside Radio enters Kai's Corner with Kai Chen Chisholm every day from 10 a.m. to noon. Join Kai as he discusses the biggest stories in South Florida sports. Tune in every day, 10 a.m. to noon for Kai's Corner on the home for South Florida Sports Talk, OnsideRadio.com.
The man of the match with South Florida's own Alex Donno. Weekdays 1 to 5 p.m. on the home for Inter Miami football. OnsideRadio.com.
This is the story of a very special woman. In a matter of seconds, she turned herself into a great mathematician or an entrepreneur. Her knowledge was limitless and still is. She could also make monsters disappear, especially those that lurked in the shadows under the bed. Once, this woman put back together a teenage girl's broken heart, which had been shattered in 1,000 pieces, just by giving her a bear hug. She masqueraded as a regular person at work, but as a superhero at home. Everyone knows her as Gabriella. I still call her Mom.
Your hero needs you now, and AARP is here to help. Find the care guides you need to help, complete with tips and resources at aarp.org/caregiving. A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Hey, hon, what you doing with your phone? Taking pictures?
No, I'm asking it questions.
Like what?
Hey, Bobo, do flowers have best friends?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that. Hey, follow me. I want to show you something. Look, flowers do have best friends.
Whoa.
Some answers can only be found in nature. Discover the unsearchable. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a trail near you. Brought to you by the United States Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Get the brutal honesty every day with the Onside Zone with a big O from 12 noon to 3 p.m. every weekday on your home for sports talk in South Florida. OnsideRadio.com. Keeping you informed in the world of sports. With an OnsideRadio.com sports update.
Just reported that Victor Oladipo will have season-ending quad surgery tomorrow in New York. The Miami Heat yesterday secured no less than a number 6 seed in the playoffs last night. 129-121 win over the Celtics. Jimmy Butler missed his second half, but Tyler Hero scored 24. Bam and Duncan added 22 each. Next up for the Heat, home game tomorrow night against the Philadelphia 76ers. The Arizona Diamondbacks took game 2 of the series with the Marlins 11-3. The team's back at it at 9:40 tonight. And right here at Dry Pink Stadium and right here at OnsideRadio.com, here in the Miami CF, they will take on CF Montreal, the roommates here. The soccer action gets started with the special red card radio with Austin Robillard at 6. Then Big O and Alex Donno will have the Onside Radio Inter Miami CF pregame show at 6:30. And, of course, Chris Whittingham, Thomas Rongan, and Fernando Fiore. They'll have the call of the game at 7:30. You're listening to South Florida's only locally owned sports talk station. This is OnsideRadio.com. Now back to more Man of the Match with Alex Donno.
You're listening to the only sports station in South Florida that likes to take your calls. 888-441-4623. We connect with a South Florida sports fan because we are South Florida. Locally owned and operated. 888-441-4623. OnSideRadio.com. South Florida's home for real sports talk.
Look out, world, we're getting strong. The future's here and we belong. She can STEM, she can do more. Like build a rocket and watch it soar. Or clean the oceans and make the world a better place. Oh, she can STEM, so can you. Find a cure, invent something new. There's no challenge in the world that she can't face. She can STEM.
Learn more at She Can STEM. A message brought to you by the Ad Council.
You're listening to OnSideRadio.com. Catch up anytime by downloading the MyTuner Radio app. OnSideRadio.com, South Florida's true hometown station. Welcome back to the Man of the Match with Alex Donno. You can reach out anytime on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623.
Yeah, with you for another 19 minutes. Then Austin Robillard is going to do a special episode of Red Card Radio leading into Inter Miami CF pregame. We were talking about food last segment. Mike No Go Zones writes, I had a great lamb liver sandwich in Detroit. Bro, like I like lamb, but lamb liver? Ugh. There's just something about, like I've been around, like sometimes my father will cook liver. I don't like the way it smells. Like, why would I want to eat something that smells that foul? I don't know. You can keep your liver. I'm not a fan. Maybe lamb liver is better than chicken liver or beef liver or whatever else people eat. Dougie Fresh writes, Mike No Go Zones, only you, Mike. Yeah, only Mike No Go Zones would try lamb liver in Detroit, mind you. Like, I figure if Mike is trying lamb liver, I thought he would be getting that in like Pakistan or something. Like he had that in Detroit. So weird. Like you couldn't get like some fried shrimp or something in Detroit. You had to eat lamb liver. Oh my God, that's crazy. Oh wow. So this is pretty interesting. You guys know I'm very anti-vegan, and my philosophy is simple. I got nothing against vegetables, right? Like I like some vegetables a lot. I have a problem with vegans slapping together these concoctions and then referring to it as meat. Like, bro, this is vegan chicken. This is vegan beef. This is vegan lamb. Like, bro, no, it's a fraud. I'll tell you why a balanced diet or a meat-based diet is clearly superior to veganism. And I want to make sure Sean Stanley is listening to this because I'm sure he would agree. If veganism is so great, why do people make plant-based meat but nobody makes meat-based vegetables? Isn't that a good point? That's a great point,
Donno,
right?
Run for president, will you, sir? Please.
Like, obviously, veganism is an inferior diet because they have to try and steal our material, right? Like,
preach it, my man.
Thank
preach
you.
It.
Like, listen, if you eat, steak and potatoes, steak and asparagus, you balance your diet a little bit. But the only way veganism can thrive is they have to create fraudulent versions of our stuff. Oh, they've got these impossible. These impossible. And I've heard, by the way, that the Impossible burgers are actually less healthy than regular burgers. So I'm telling you, bro, you got to watch out for this veganism. Big kudos to the state of Texas. Texas state lawmakers this week approved a bill that will ban plant-based food products and foods that do not contain meat from animals from using the terms meat or beef to describe the food on labels. Thank you. Mr. DeSantis, are you listening? We need this in Florida, sir. If you're going to do anything good, do this, okay? House Bill 316, which is appropriate. It's from my favorite Bible verse, right? So we're House Bill.
I think of it as Stone Cold 316. Says I'm gonna whoop your ass.
So this was approved after a brief debate. So they barely even had to talk about this. It was so obvious. It is intended to prohibit companies from misleading consumers, according to the Dallas News. The bill will also keep companies that produce food from insects, plants, or cell cultures, not slaughtered animals, from using the label meat, pork, poultry, or beef. God bless you. Quote, this is for those who choose to eat meat, but it's also for those who choose to not eat meat, said Texas State Rep Brad Buckley, who also introduced the bill, according to the Austin American-Statesman. Under the bill, companies would not be barred from using the term burger to describe and label. I feel like that's got to be next. Like we got to go after that term now. Plant-based food companies like Beyond Meat and Impossible Burgers have risen to popularity in recent years and have pushed back against laws similar to the Texas bill in court, citing a violation of free speech. You know, you guys know that I'm a capitalist. I hate communism. I hate fascism. I hate mean people. But I think a little bit of fascism when it comes to food labels might be required, because I don't want these vegans to be referring to their sinful products as beef or meat or pork or chicken. It's the dumbest thing ever. And listen, I'm smart, okay? I'm young. I'm sharp as a tack. When I go to the grocery store, I double check, I triple check the labels. I know exactly what I'm buying. There's a lot of old folks out there, a lot of old, perhaps Vietnam vets, people who served this country, Korean War vets. There's still a few World War II vets out there, believe it or not. I'd feel terrible if America's seniors are going to the grocery store. Their eyesight isn't so great because they were, too busy kicking the butts of communists in previous wars we've been in. I don't want them to be going to the grocery store and accidentally buying some unholy concoction that's called like vegan meat. Like, I don't want them buying that by accident. We need these labels to be honest. Mike No Go Zones writes, thank you, Texas. He says PETA are almost domestic terrorists. Devin Jordan says, have you ever eaten chitterlings? Where have I heard that? What is a chitterling? I don't think I've had that. Hold on. Let me run a quick Google search. Chitterlings. Why does that sound familiar? As chitterlings are a culinary dish made from the large intestines of a hog. Oh dear God, no. Although the intestines of cattle and other animals are sometimes used. Wow, and this is crazy. When you look up chitterlings, you know how on Google they say they have a little section that says people also ask, and the first one is, do chitterlings have poop in them? Is the first thing people also ask. Why do chitterlings stink? What do chitterlings taste like? That doesn't sound good to me, bro. I'm sorry. I'm not going to partake in that. Have you ever had them, Devin? He's the one who suggested that. Oh, man. Doug E. Fresh says, Donno, a lot of sports are cyclical, where offenses, defenses fade away and then have resurgence. What do you think will be next in mixed martial arts rather than just being hybrid like grappler, striker? I don't know. Like, I may be wrong on this because I've been looking at this for a few years, but I think styles, fighters like Yuri Prochazka, who just beat Dominic Reyes a couple weeks ago. To me, I think styles like that, Tony Ferguson has been fighting this way for quite some time. Guys that don't really follow the script, right? Because a lot of like more traditional mixed martial arts fighters, they all kind of train the same way. The grappling base is probably American wrestling mixed with jiu-jitsu. The striking base is, traditional boxing mixed with like Thai or Dutch kickboxing. But then every now and then you get these unconventional type of strikers who you don't know, you can't really get any rhythm on them. Because if you kind of come from like a traditional Dutch, Thai, or boxing base, there are certain patterns that your movement is going to follow, and it can be studied and it can be read. But then every now and then you have guys like a Tony Ferguson or a Yuri Prochazka who you don't know, and their hands are down a lot, they're using their footwork, and you don't know where the uppercuts, where the hooks, where the straight punches are going to come from. I may be off on this because there have been certain guys who have come through, like even, 15 years ago, 10 years ago, when Lyoto Machida rose to prominence, he was doing things a different way because he was a karate-based striker, which is, not really considered like a traditional mixed martial arts background, but he found a lot of success doing that because he was a little bit harder to telegraph and a little bit harder to read. So I've always kind of thought that that's the future. I always look for guys who are just a little bit more unique and who are difficult to predict, because you can telegraph for a lot of fighters who have traditional striking bases. You can telegraph where their punches and kicks are going to come from, but then there's a handful of guys that come through that are so unorthodox and unconventional, you have no idea where that offense is going to come from. So I think that's the kind of way that I view it. 844-416-8123. Going to have some crosstalk when we come back with Austin Robillard, who's got a special edition of Red Card Radio coming up. Hey, why don't we do the Red Card Radio promo? Every Saturday, 11 a.m., soccer fans can connect with Austin Robillard and Red Card Radio. From the Premiership to the MLS, catch up with your favorite team, including our very own Inter Miami CF. So listen to Red Card Radio every Saturday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. with Austin Robillard exclusively at OnSideRadio.com.
The man of the match with South Florida's own Alex Donno. Weekdays 1 to 5 p.m. on the home for Inter Miami football. OnSideRadio.com.
Look out, world, we're getting strong. The future's here and we belong. She can STEM, she can do more. Like build a rocket and watch it soar. Or clean the oceans and make the world a better place. Oh, she can STEM, so can you. Find a cure, invent something new. There's no challenge in the world that she can't face. She can STEM.
Learn more at She Can STEM. A message brought to you by the Ad Council.
When you're looking for curtains and blinds to create a space of your own, look no further than Bandalux. Bandalux can tailor your space to your needs. Create the atmosphere and ambiance you desire. We invite you to discover it at Bandalux.com. Explore our new solar control systems, range of sustainable fabrics, and energy-efficient solutions that can improve your well-being and quality of life. Witness Bandalux Beauty. Go to Bandalux.com or follow them on Instagram at Bandalux_official. For a personal experience, a shade above Window Fashions in Davie and Sunrise is an official Bandalux partner.
Ashiro's work is never done. You care for the house, the kids, and our future. We're so grateful for all you do. Now, it's time to care for yourself and save a little more for retirement. A free 3-minute online chat can give you the personalized tips you need to boost your retirement savings now. Visit aceyourretirement.org today.
A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Parents, we know we can't protect our kids from everything. Eventually, they're going to bump their heads or scrape their knees. But we can protect them from 6 types of cancer. HPV, or human papillomavirus, is a common, preventable virus that can cause cancer later in life. The HPV vaccine prevents human papillomavirus and all the cancers it can cause. The American Cancer Society recommends getting your sons and daughters the HPV vaccine starting at age 9 to protect them later in life.
Join the Inter Miami family in 2021 by becoming a 2021 season ticket member. Enjoy enhanced access benefits and pricing not available to general fans. Visit intermiamicf.com/tickets for more information.
You're listening to OnSideRadio.com. Catch up anytime by downloading the MyTuner Radio app. OnSideRadio.com, South Florida's true hometown station. You're listening to this station with more live and local sports talk than anyone else in South Florida. OnSideRadio.com, broadcasting from South Florida to the world. Welcome back to the Man of the Match with Alex Donno. You can reach out anytime on the Onside Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623.
Hey, we got a special edition of Red Card Radio from 6 to 6:30. And then we have Inter Miami, CF Montreal pregame, 6:30. We got the game. Chris Whittingham, Thomas Rong, and Fernando Fiore are going to be on the call. We got Austin Robillard in with us. You're going to be on 6 to 6:30. How you doing, man? It's nice to see you here on a weekday.
I am elated. Midweek football, I mean, it gives me a nice little relaxation. I got a day off from my day job. We get to come into the studio, into the nice AC. It's really hot outside today. I'm not a big fan.
Oh, yeah, I was out there, earlier before the show. and like the AC has been cranking in here so much, like you can hear, like it sounds like there's an actual storm. Like it's crazy. Like the AC in here is working overtime.
Well, we need it because when I was walking up here just from the parking lot to the entrance, I started to sweat. It was that hot. So, but I am very, very happy to be here. It's going to be an exciting game. Hoping for an Inter Miami win in 3 points, of course, but you never really know with MLS, man. The parity is unmatched, but I'm hoping Inter Miami can get it done.
Yeah, and these teams have the same record so far, the same point total. Now, Inter Miami has been on a bit of a more positive run, though, because, in Inter Miami's case, they're 3 matches unbeaten, where you could say, Montreal are 3 matches winless because they are coming off a defeat. I know Romel Kyoto could certainly do some damage. Who are some of the guys that you're really looking out for from Montreal could give us problems?
In MLS, I always look out for the number 10s. I think of the Reynosos, the Zelarayan's, and I honestly think Mihailovic is one of the most underrated ones in MLS thus far. His stats don't show. I think he's got just a goal and an assist thus far, but I think he's a really, really quality player. Sometimes they drop him a little lower as a number 8, but the way they've been playing recently, I think you're going to see him in more of a number 10 role behind 2 strikers, and that's somebody I think you should worry about because 10s always give MLS teams trouble, and they always give defensives trouble. So that's somebody I'm definitely going to keep my eye on.
So what are you expecting from Inter Miami tonight? We did get some good news that it sounds like Blaise Matuidi is good to go. So that's a huge plus because we were worried about him picking up a knock this week. So quite frankly, do you think we're going to get our first home win tonight?
I'm hoping so. I mean, I'm really, really, really hoping so. The first half against Atlanta was something that I hope we can erase from the history books. It was awful. Yeah. But I want to see a fresh, fast start to kick off this game. As you know, both clubs are very familiar with the area. It is both where they're training and where they're playing their home games. But Inter Miami have to use this Drive Pink Stadium as a quote-unquote fortress, as Jay Chapman mentioned earlier on in the week. Use it as a fortress. Use the momentum. Use all the great supporters groups that we have. Get on the forefront early. Try and get a goal early, and then you can dictate the tempo for the rest of the match. Despite whether or not you hold possession, I don't care.
Right.
As long as you are.
I don't.
I know you don't. Yeah, exactly. So as long as you can dictate the tempo in any way possible, and I think the best way to do it is probably getting a goal really early, and that's something I want to see. I want to see them pressing really early because you don't have to play until Sunday. And I know it's tough, 3 games in 7 days, but hopefully they're rested enough to where they can try and get a goal early.
Dude, how cool is it that May 29th on, we can actually pack the stadium? Like these fans, especially the supporters. I know the supporters have been able to show up for a handful of games here, but like we've been waiting since March of last year before lockdown to get a full stadium. We're finally a couple weeks away from that.
I cannot imagine what the atmosphere is going to be like.
I remember that. I'm gonna have to get here like 6 hours before the game.
Yeah,
just to park.
100%. Yeah, yeah. The parking. I hope. That's going to be tough, so definitely get here early, but that is going to be nuts. I mean, it's loud as it is. The supporters groups do great as it is, and if they can get all, 18, 20,000 people rocking with them, to just learn maybe just one of the chants. Get one chant on every 45 minutes to where the whole stadium can go behind it, and oh my God, I am very, very excited. We've never seen it. It was taken away from us, and I'm happy we're finally going to get to see it May 29th and then throughout the rest of the season.
So make sure you soccer fans keep it locked because we got Red Card Radio coming up, and then we have Inter Miami CF Montreal pregame, and then the game itself, halftime, postgame, all that good stuff. Austin, have a great show.
Thank you. I appreciate it, man.
So Austin is coming your way next. You're listening to the only locally owned sports station in South Florida. We are OnsideRadio.com.
Welcome to OnsideRadio.com. Broadcasting from South Florida to the world. No station in South Florida provides more live and local sports talk.
This is like rock and roll with no music.
Follow us on social media at Onside Radio.
Hey, it's Big O for EJD Construction, your custom home builder, additions and home remodeling. Our lives have changed. We're making our homes more of an oasis. Call the right place. Call the right people. Eric at EJD Construction for over 16 years. A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
If you're looking for a change from the everyday restaurant, then you need to get to Checkers Old Munchin German Restaurant in Pompano Beach. Brats, Wiener Schnitzel, homemade potato pancakes, pretzels with mustard, and lots of German beer. And with daily specials, there is something for everyone. If you're up for a challenge, you should take their famous boot tour. Finish 30 boots of different varieties of German beer, and you'll receive half price on their beer for life. and you'll get to take home your own boot and